What's up, guys? Regiment in this podcast is brought to you by G Fuel, the ultimate energy drink for gamers. G Fuel uses a special blend of vitamins, antioxidants, and other natural caffeine resources to keep you from having those jitters or even that crash that you normally would have from other energy drink brands. So whether you're having a long gaming session or you're just having a long day and need a pick-me-up, G Fuel definitely has you covered. G Fuel also has a wide array of flavors to choose from. But if you don't know what flavor you want to try, they also sell variety packs on their website, and they even come with a cool shaker. So head on over to gfuel.com and use promo code REGIMENT at checkout to get up to 30% off. That is REGIMENT, promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout to get up to 30% off. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Smoke Pit Podcast. Today, we are joined by our Stack Up charity liaison, PerkyDaisy. What up, Perky?
Hi, how are you?
Good. So tell us.
That was the perkiest response you could have
This is
had.
a perky response from Perky. So you're our stack.
Imagine that.
You're our Stack Up charity liaison. Tell us for the viewers a little bit about the charity.
So,
and what you do with it.
So I'm actually an influencer relations manager for Stack Up. Stack Up is a nonprofit charity organization that supports veterans and service members through gaming to promote positive mental health. With me being the charity liaison for Regiment. Regiment is it's not sponsoring, but their mission aligns with each other in supporting positive mental health.
Glorious.
Wonderful. Yeah, Stack Up. Our relationship with Stack Up has been around since I was in Regiment.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning of Regiment, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were before me, Doc.
Sort of.
I was going to say, Chris actually applied for Stack Up and then decided to create Regiment.
Yeah, it just wasn't talked about as frequently in the very beginning.
All I know is that ever since I've been in Regiment, which was I realized that I've been in Regiment since November 2020, I think.
Oh wow! So yeah, they were established in May of 2020. Regiment was
And
officially.
I've been in since July of that year.
It's been a long fucking road, and and Stack Up has always been part of our whole thing since I was in there. So I know that this partnership between Regiment and Stack Up has been a long-standing one. For shit, I mean, it's almost like there is no Regiment without Stack Up being there somewhere, you know? Because our partnership goes so far and so deep. We only started doing the charity, I think, just a little over 2 years, like a year and a half ago. We're really getting into the charity.
It was very beginning.
Was
May
it?
of 2020.
Maybe I just didn't notice the push for the Call to Arms charity until.
Yeah, it wasn't super pushed until probably about 2 years ago. Last year was a major push, and this year, because I became charity liaison at the beginning of this year, and so we actually had our first charity event on Twitch this year, which I was able to correlate.
We're gonna put the Dono Drive link in the bio so that people can if they can donate, they can, and if not, spread the word about it. I mean, I do have a plug for Stack Up inside of one of our little ads here, so we do talk about it and stuff. But Stack Up is an awesome org. I tell everybody about it because it's better than the VA when it comes to finding support. In a lot of ways, because I know that I don't think that everyone on the SOP program in the crisis line are actually vets themselves. I know most of them are. Are all of them?
Not. So the STOP program, or STOP, is our Stack Up Overwatch program. It's our 24-hour day, 7-day wait peer-to-peer crisis intervention and suicide prevention. It's not every single person that is in there is a vet. However, they have ties to the military, either spouse or military brat or some type of affiliation with the military. And that's how they're able to have that connection and be able to do what they do on a daily basis.
And
what are their qualifications for that?
So they get 32 hours of psych armor training. It's all situational preparedness, being able to do de-escalations, and then they have 6 oral boards they have to pass in order to take even their first call. And then they also have to be HIPAA certified. And that's all training that we provide from Stack Up for them to be able to help other vets in Stack Up.
So everybody involved with that is bound under HIPAA.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was one concern that some people had that I referred.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, I mean, but I don't want them to know all that stuff. I'm like, but I don't think they can disclose that with anybody unless, you know.
No, we have it's a HIPAA certification, but we have a duty to warn. So as long as it's not to the point where there needs to be a mental or a wellness check, then everything is classified.
It's like harm to self and others.
Correct.
Like most mental health professionals would have.
Yep. Yeah, we have a clinician that is on he's on retainer. He handles like our more extreme cases, and then he's the only one that has the license that will be able to do the duty to warn, which would be contacting their local authorities and getting someone to go out and check on them.
And it's good that you guys have that too, because I know in the past, before, like, you know, we were pushing for people to actually, like, if they wanted to get involved with that stuff, to do it. But we had, I want to say there was not an incident, but there was a time where somebody in regiment took it upon themselves to do a wellness check, to call somebody for a wellness check.
Mm.
This was years ago, and this was not.
Yeah.
This wasn't anybody in staff or anything. This was like an actual member that was just like.
Just wanted to look out for the buddy.
Yeah, and the intention obviously wasn't, you know, nefarious in any way, but it was one of those things where it's like, you really shouldn't be doing that because you're not the person to be, you know,
it's not your call.
That's not your call, because that could end up causing a bigger situation than it needs to be. But it's good that you guys actually have like people that are qualified to make that decision. Yeah. Because a lot of people that were like, you know, they're not qualified to make the decision will make the decision. And it's like, you should not have done that. Not at all.
Yeah, I think that fell more along the lines of like someone just doing like peer-to-peer buddy support.
Yeah. Which we are, you know, most of the people that are on staff are, it's all peer-to-peer. We just have that one clinician for our more extreme cases, but on our day-to-day calls, it is peer-to-peer. So none of the people that they're taking like the minor de-escalation calls have license, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it is.
To me, it does.
Yeah.
This is my field of expertise.
This is your field of expertise. I mean, Doc would know. He's dated some fucking wild ones, man. Like
yeah, that's true as well.
I mean. He had
personally and professionally.
He dated a chick that was so out there. He ended up using her as a case study.
Yeah,
like,
she had
nice.
She had like multiple personalities diagnosed.
That's really cool.
This is also the time.
No, it's not.
Split level, but
it's really not, because she ended up having a kid and claimed it was his.
There's a whole episode on it on his podcast. You can watch it, and it's
I'm writing it down.
It's hilariously traumatizing,
and she knew the entire time that it wasn't his.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
But like, kind of like lied to him, and that whole situation was a fucking nightmare, because you were facing like some kind of fucking disciplinary action from your unit.
Yeah, there's all types.
UNCA.
All types of shit going on. All types of shit.
What branch were you in, Perky?
I was Army.
You were Army? So pretty much like, because you were engaged to her, right?
No.
Yeah, you were. You were engaged to her.
I never bought a ring.
Whatever. Something was going on. Well, but wasn't she technically married? Or something?
I'm not at liberty to discuss this.
But like, so there was something going on where she was separated and the divorce hadn't finalized or some bullshit. And
Allegedly.
And basically, like, his career was at stake with this one.
Yeah.
And
Because technically it'd be adultery if they were not legally divorced.
right.
Allegedly, at the time, it would have been.
And then
Now it
Now
wouldn't
it's
be.
good.
Now it's fine.
now they don't give a shit at all. Like, now it's
Now
just
they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you got legal papers? Dude, fuck who you want.
pretty much, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
still a lot of commanders and OSCs, though, that don't fucking know that.
Yeah.
Imagine being a CO and not knowing the UCMJ.
You mean like most of the military? Honestly,
Yeah.
because like most of the military, it's like you talk about UCMJ shit, and they don't know a goddamn thing about it, and they just throw it out there like it's the fucking end all be all for everything.
I
That's
remember
like the Karen lawyers.
Yeah,
literally. I gave a leadership course as this was back when I was in E4 at my last command, and I wrote a good portion of the course and everything because it was supervised by an E6, and then everything got approved by the command master chief. And one of my topics was over that change in the UCMJ and how like some leaders don't know everything. And we gave them a scenario of like if someone is married, and there was another E6 in there that was going through the course, and they were adamant. They're like, no, it's a crime. They're going to jail. I'm like, actually, printed it out. As of this year, 7 months ago, it's not a crime. Hence, this class, that leaders don't know everything, but also to know that you can still learn as a leader and to teach your other people shit.
Mhm.
And it was so great to be an E4 telling an E6, like, you're an idiot and you're wrong.
I did that to a captain once. I did that to a
It's such a
captain
great
once.
feeling.
And I had a fucking a lieutenant colonel back me when I was telling this captain he was wrong, because
Oh, nice.
granted this was a training exercise and these dudes were ate up. Like we were, because I was a forward observer, and we were part of a recon group that was like the 13 Bravos, which are the cannon crew members, were all on the gun line doing over like live fire exercises all night long. They had a bunch of rounds they had to get rid of, and these guys were range control had to shut them down because they were dropping rounds in place like outside of the red zone. And then when I mean outside the red zone, I mean outside of the impact area. And the powers that be let them keep going, and these guys were all fucked up, and our job was to go there and be the op 4, to quote unquote be the op 4, and kind of fuck with them a little bit. We get there, we just walk right on the gun line while they're firing at night, and these guys are just kind of like, one dude walks up, he's like, who are you? And we're like, fuck off, and you did. And we're like, okay. And like none of the security checkpoints that they had stopped us. We walk all the way up to like the CP, like their whole command post and shit. And we just stand there, like inside of the way, like overlooking this little like checkpoint, which they had. It was like a dugout pit with a 240 in it. And some E7 looks up and he's like, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, wait, you're not my guys. And we're like, nope. He's like, how did you get over here? So we just walked on, man.
That's a great question, isn't it?
I was like, we just walked on. They gave us MREs and shit and stuff. And it was such a shit show. And the captain was, I had to actually go to the AAR because I was in E5. I had to go to the AAR afterwards, and the CEO for that battery was there, and he was just bitching about us and how we got on his gun line and how we shouldn't have been there and stuff. And I was like, actually, sir, this is part of, like, you know, this was part of the training. Like your guys are being trained in a real world scenario of securing your gun line. And to say that your security was lackadaisical would be putting it lightly. Like, you guys just literally let a 7-man squad walk onto your gun line without anybody even stopping them or figuring out what the hell's going on. And we just walked on. We walked up to your command post and everything. Like the whole gun line was compromised at that point.
We ate your food and everything.
And even the platoon sergeant was like, "You guys want to take the 50 cal?" And we were like, debating
Yeah,
it,
sure.
and just to fuck with them, I actually went over the net and like let battalion know that the battery was taken out and their 50 cal was taken, and we have it.
Oh.
And it kind of like caused like a bunch of caused like a big ruckus, and it was funny because my E7s were with me and encouraging me to do this, and they thought it was the funniest shit ever, because I'm just like, hey, yeah, so this battery's neutralized, there's about 30 casualties, and just so you guys know, we have their 50 cal on ROP. Bye. And they're like, say again. And I was like, yeah, we took their 50 cal, and they don't, like, the machine gun is out there in the field somewhere. And they're like, what? And I just
figure it out, bitch.
I shut the radio off. But yeah, I was telling this captain, and I was like, sir, like, your guys' gun line was fucked up. Like, you guys weren't doing your job. And he's like, sorry, that's great that you guys are practicing your stalking skills and stuff, but we have a job to do too. And I'm like, evidently you weren't doing it good enough. And the battalion commander's just kind of like chuckling over in the corner, and this dude's getting pissed off at me. And then the
accountability
BC pulled me aside. He's like, I just want you to know that you were 100% in the right with that one. And that just goes to show that like a lot of senior NCOs and officers think they fucking know everything and don't need to learn more.
I don't even think it's necessarily that. I think nobody wants to admit fault.
Yeah, it's always somebody else's fault.
It's everyone's fault but mine. Yep.
Like, just fucking admit when you're wrong.
Yep. Personal accountability.
People
like,
will
understand.
Have more,
like, all right, we need to do more fucking training.
And people will have more respect for that if you can say, I fucked up, and we'll correct it. Roger.
Like, nobody's ever choked to death on their pride. Swallow it like the dick that you're apparently taking, sir.
So Perky, how long were you in the Army for?
2000 to 2004.
Oh, so. 2000 and 2004?
It's a terrible time to be in the Army.
Just a little bit.
So you joined the Army, you're like, this will be an easy thing, and then the fucking 9/11 happened.
So you do not have a McDonald's ribbon?
I have, yeah, I do. I was, you're talking about the rainbow one, right?
The Nat Defense.
National Defense ribbon?
Yeah, I do.
Everybody in the Army got a National Defense ribbon up until 2017.
No. She joined in 2000. She didn't join during conflict.
I still went to conflict, though.
Okay. So that's always my question, is because I know some people that they, like, because they were already in, they didn't get it.
No,
like they've got like combat, they got a car and all that stuff, but because they joined during a non-conflict time or whatever, they didn't have their Nat Defense. If they re-enlisted, they got it.
No, I got mine because I did Afghanistan in 2002.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't go to they didn't send you guys to Iraq?
So my unit went to we did Afghanistan 2002. We were the first aviation unit in country. We actually were the second unit after the Marines had cleared it. When we had gotten back, at that point my son was 4 months old when I deployed. When I had gotten back, I had gotten pregnant, and they were trying to fence me in to go 18 months to Iraq, and I basically told them to fuck themselves and pulled my family care plane. And that's how I got out.
That's fair. I mean,
I did 3 years, 11 months, and 14 days.
What was your MOS?
55 Bravo, ammunition specialist.
I'm glad that you clarified.
Yeah,
I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I was a glorified bullet counter.
Let's be honest. Like most of the people
bullets don't fly without supply.
Even in the same branch, a lot of times you need to clarify what the fuck the MOS is, because we're like,
now it's 89 Bravo. They changed it after they changed the nomenclature after I got out.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
So how was that? Yep. How was that feeling? Just so you know, I thought you were a lot younger. You seem like a lot younger. I was in fucking 8th grade when you deployed.
Yeah, I was in 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks. My son's 21.
Hey, I don't get this very often, so I'm usually the old guy now, especially being in for 13
I'm
years.
usually the old guy. Everyone calls me grandpa, old fuck, and I'm like, I'm only 35, man.
It's nice, but like me being in, I'm the grandpa
Yeah.
now. And
Well, because you're still in.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't get this very often.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be 41 in October. I just too quick math.
I love doing that at the IW hikes, like all the older vet guys and girls. I just love fucking with them. I'm like, oh, that was a great time for me in 6th grade. That was awesome.
It's the best. I love it. So was there an oh shit moment during 9/11 where you're like, oh fuck, okay, this is not gonna be an easy enlistment at all?
I had just gotten off a leave. I did a convenience marriage. And that was my first.
That?
Convenience marriage.
Hold on. Pause. Time out. We're going to sidetrack. The fuck is that?
So he was stationed at Fort Hood. I was stationed at Fort Bragg. And we wanted to be geographical bachelors. We wanted to move off post, but not actually have to live together. And at that point, they didn't, because we were already at our first duty stations, they weren't going to move either one of us. So we would have been geographical bachelors, and we would have both gotten BAH without actually having to be married.
Ah, I see.
So legally married, but not actually have a,
So you were
fucking
married.
You were in Bragg. So you were in Bragg. Were you airborne?
You mean Fort Liberty?
No. So I was a leg. I went through airborne school. On my third jump, I actually hyperextended my ACL and tore my MCL.
Oh no, you didn't bend your fucking knees?
So
did you
my
look
knee,
down?
my knee stayed straight, and the rest of my body went that way.
Oh, I know it happened, but you didn't keep your feet and knees together, knees slightly bent?
I got stuck into a mud puddle.
Oh, I landed in one of those in airborne school. Yeah, that was.
There was nothing I could do at that point. Like I just I had to go with it, and my freaking everything took me down.
That was the same for me. So because I was airborne, I was at the 173rd Airborne in Italy. So
okay.
When I was in airborne school, it was my third jump as well. There was a person below me, and my option was to slip away from the water and mud and lose air, or just land in the water and mud. Mm-hmm. So I picked. I guess we're getting wet today. So I landed. I landed in the water and mud, and I was laughing. And I was like, well, it was a soft jump. It was a soft landing. It was like right into the shit. Getting out of it sucked, but but the worst part was I got thrown on shoot shakeout detail. And that went until late. I was wet, muddy, and freezing. And we didn't get back till like midnight, and I was like, I need to fucking shower. Like I'm covered in mud and I'm so cold and wet. So yeah, that was a fucking grand old time. But yeah, I know exactly which part you're talking about. Like, 'cause there's that one nice swampy area on the drop zone that's kind of on the LZ. That's just kind of like, all just shit, wet and shit. I feel like they do it on purpose.
So I pissed people off because I wore a Maroon Beret. I was in an airborne designate unit because we had 2 airborne slots. And my combat patch is actually 82nd. And both of my, on my uniform, I have the airborne tab over it, but I don't have the CIB. And yeah, it makes people very, very mad.
I always forget tab is better than
no the tab goes with the actual unit patch.
Yeah.
So they're not that there's no like just exclusive tab. The only thing exclusive is the wings.
Yep. It's the wings are what's over your name, right? Yeah.
It's
whatever.
It's on your left side and stuff over your it's either over your name tape on the name. Is the name on the left or the right?
No, your name is your name is on the right.
Yeah,
side.
so like the branch is on your left, so it's like over the Army you have like all your fucking things, like you have your cab, your CIB, your airborne wings, air assault wings, all that cool shit that goes here. So the wings, Matt, the wings are the ones that stay with you. The unit, the deployment patch. Are you telling me no? You guys, motherfuckers don't wear patches.
No, I'm saying I mixed that up.
I was gonna say, your name's over
It's
on
the
this
branch.
side.
It's the branches on the right. The name is on the left.
Is it the name on the left? I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, branch is right, and name's
Yeah.
left. And then
Because
because
I was
all
thinking of my
your
warfare devices, and I'm like, no, that's not
because
right.
all your
That's on
rewards
the
and
right.
stuff are on the left, and it's over your name. Yeah, that's.
But to
yeah.
be fair, no one takes those fucking tapes off unless they're washing them, and like you don't even think about like which side to the point where you forget is the name on the right or the left. I forgot.
I wear a uniform every fucking day, and I'm still like, what fucking side is my shit on?
So I am so old school. All of my shit was sewn on. We didn't have the Velcro. I was only BDUs and DCUs.
I was gonna say you guys didn't get ACUs until like
no.
What was it? 05 is when ACUs started really rolling out.
Yeah, I was already gone then.
The shittiest fucking uniforms ever. I remember when we went.
They were so comfortable though, from what I looked like, because you didn't have to iron them, you didn't have to shine your boots, you didn't have to, get anything sewn on. Like it was great, for then.
The multicam is more comfortable.
Oh.
So like the multicam, it's softer. It wears out faster, but it is softer. But we didn't have to shine our boots and shit. But the problem is, in an operational environment, they didn't fucking work. I remember we were still wearing those. Like the Army didn't switch to multicam until near the end of my time as active duty. But our unit actually went full time because the Department of the Army said, we're getting rid of ACUs. If you have multicam, just wear it. And we did, because we went to Ukraine during Atlantic Resolve when that first started in 2014, when the whole Russia shit started kicking off. So we went to Ukraine. We did one exercise in Ukraine for about 4 months, and we decided to switch to multicam because all the other Baltic states were making fun of our uniforms. Because they're like saying this is the best the U.S. military has. Like, we can see you from all the way out here. Everybody else blended in but us. And that was a problem.
Well, it's like in Afghanistan, we had the DCUs, but our flak jackets were the green. They were the BDU color camo. So, and our Kevlar, it wasn't until we were 2 months downrange that we swapped out to the DCU Kevlar cover, because they didn't have any. They weren't able to manufacture them fast enough. So yeah, when we went, our trucks were green. All of our armor and stuff was green.
Everything stuck out.
It was Vietnam, apparently.
Mismatching uniforms and shit. That's the early days of Afghanistan and Iraq. It was like that. Everybody was wearing fucking everything.
Do you know why we went to digital?
It was like the decision behind it was like, just get it. I don't care. Kind of.
Sort of. It had to do with being seen by equipment. Like equipment wasn't able to render that uniform color. It would blend more on like hardware and stuff versus us being able to see somebody. Like, it didn't look like it meshed all that much to us digitally, but when you see it on different hardware, it blends in a lot more.
I can tell you right now, under nods, it looks it doesn't fucking. You can still see. You can still see them.
Still see. Yep.
That's not the same.
How's that not the same? What equipment are you talking about?
If
I swear to God, if you say fucking FLIR, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. It's not FLIR either.
No, I was gonna say ISR, but I don't think that's right.
It's not, because I can tell you right now, you can see that, because ISR will pick up everything.
It was a while ago that I learned about this, but I was like, wow, that actually makes a lot more sense now. Now I understand why everything is digital. Yeah. However, I'll still never understand why the Navy went with blue, because that's what I want to do. I want to blend in with the ocean when I fall overboard.
That one's funny to me, because it's just like,
stupidest fucking shit.
Isn't the Navy uniform being white the whole reason why it's white is because if you fall in the fucking water, like, you can have a better chance of finding them?
No, the uniform itself is really old. The only one that the only part of it I remember
been around since my grandpa was in the Navy.
The only part that I remember specifically is the whole uniform itself is based off of like sailor traditions, but the tar flap, the little flappy piece in the back, that's because of the shit that they would put in their hair to keep their hair back. and so they wouldn't get it on their uniform. That was like part of the uniform, but it wasn't. That was so they wouldn't get the tar on their actual uniform, and now it's just a traditional piece of the uniform.
I always wondered about what that was for. I'm like, why do they wear those? Like, what do they do? And
that's the back history for it.
Oh, that's good to know that at one point the Navy didn't give a fuck about hair standards. To the
In point. The 80s, they were allowed to have beards.
Yep. Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, even honestly today,
or
depending
70s, actually.
Depending on what you do, you could have a beard.
Special Forces is about the only ones that get authorized to have
Special
beards.
Forces can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't.
Special Forces and shaving profiles.
Shaving profiles
or religious. Now you can do you can claim religion.
The religion one is hard. Not so much anymore, but it's
hard to do unless you've had it from the time that you fucking joined.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Special Forces are a fucking different breed when it comes to shit. I remember we had some SF guys in our post, and our post in Italy was very, very small. Like it was maybe a 3-mile-ish radius at the most. And there was one guy, he was standing outside, hand in his pockets, sleeves kind of fucking rolled up to his forearm, no headgear on his phone, just standing there talking. Sergeant Major walks by. I happened to be right there, and I was like, "How you doing, Sergeant Major?" And he like turns and he sees this guy standing by a company, like a CP, and he was just like, "Hey, guy, where's your headgear, guy?" And he pulls a green beret out of his fucking cargo pocket. Said, "Wrong fucking team, guy." And he just like, "Oh, sorry," and walked off. Like those dudes can get away with fucking anything. It was glorious. I was like, "Oh shit." But yeah.
So, Perky, have you ever listened to any of our episodes?
No.
Calling you out right now, and
I have no issues with letting you know that my scope of listening to people talk is focused on work, and then outside of that, I don't like listening to people talk.
Wow.
I guess we need to have some more fucking bathroom. We need more bathroom jokes in our fucking podcast episodes. Then, like talking about pee pee poo poo.
I watch a lot of live content. I watch a lot of streams. So if you stream them,
what's the difference?
That I can actually interact. So my entire freaking job is dependent on building relationships with people while they are live during, any type of broadcast. If they're on Twitch or Kick or YouTube or TikTok, like that's how I, am able to, I go in and I watch them live content. I'm interacting with them. I'm interacting with their chat, to see if they have a good vibe. And then that's, when I reach out. So
interesting.
Do you work if it's not live, then
firm or something?
I work with Stack Up.
Oh, that's like your full time.
That's my full time. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been actually. Today is my 4-year work anniversary. Whenever August 18th is my 4-year.
That's today.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying because you're gonna broadcast it later. It's not long, so take you to edit.
It was crazy that when I first met I don't remember which one it is. Mark? Might be Mark. I'm not sure. He's part of Vet TV now, though.
Mike Levine.
Mike, yes, Mike. Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly who it is.
It took me a minute. Yeah, Mike's part of our Stack Up board.
He was at the Irreverent Warriors leadership conference this year, and when he mentioned Stack Up and Regiment, I was the only one in the audience. I was like, everyone else is like, the fuck is this? I'm like, you know what? He's going to be my fucking support for what I've been trying to do. Fuck all of you guys.
Speaking of Vet TV, when the fuck have you talked to Donnie?
I'm trying to get in touch with him more on a personal basis because they don't answer emails, man.
Evidently not. I want to be in a Vet TV skit.
Neither do regular streamers. So,
That's also
it's like herding cats.
Donnie is very, like, he's always moving forward. He has other people that will kind of do the admin-y type stuff. Donnie is terrible with some things. He's phenomenally smart, very well spoken, and he's very good at the stuff that he does. But Donnie is so scatterbrained. I swear.
He's a Marine.
But he's ADHD as fuck.
I couldn't tell. I see his fucking Instagram posts all the time, and the dude is just fucking vibing and dancing and raving. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this dude's ADHD as fuck. Even
he's very organized. Let me take that out. He's organized in his way.
Organized chaos.
Yeah, which is very him. He's literally the officer's version of enlisted. If that makes sense. So he's got an enlisted mindset, but he's very smart and successful and well put together like an officer. Because he was an officer. If that makes sense.
Was he?
Yeah.
I always thought he was a senior NCO. I didn't know he was an officer.
Exactly. He was. I think he got out as a first lieutenant.
Oh, so he went green and gold. Or something similar where he commissioned before he got out.
He was always commissioned.
You said
he was never enlisted.
How long was he in for? Long time.
4 years, I think. He didn't do very long.
No, really?
I don't think he did very long. He might have done,
because you said first lieutenant. I'm like,
I can't remember actually.
The dude had to have been in the Marines for a long time. I thought for sure that he was in there longer. What happened?
Oops.
He wasn't in that.
That was me. My words were backwards, and I needed to fix it.
They're still backwards.
And I forgot my stinger.
Yeah, they're backwards for us.
They're backwards. They weren't backwards before.
They were backwards on my screen.
Do it again.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we'll wait here.
Keep talking.
Yeah, we can use this as an ad break.
I always thought that Donnie was enlisted.
There you go.
See,
a lot of people did. A lot of people that either haven't read his book or know like just a lot about him in general think that he was enlisted just because he has that mindset of enlisted. Honestly, he connects with people like enlisted.
The only time,
but if you listen to him speak, you can definitely tell the man was an officer.
It makes sense now on his skits where he's doing like a rock drill and he's like going over like a fucking, a scheme of maneuvers with his team. Like whenever he's doing those skits, that's a very officer thing to do. Yeah. Typically senior NCOs will do it, but most often it is the officer that actually goes over that whole thing.
Have you seen A Grunt's Life? The movie that they did?
No, I haven't.
It's very good. He plays the officer, like the battalion, not the battalion commander, but the CO of that platoon, and it's hilarious. It's fucked up, but it's exactly how I see him in that position. Yeah.
I want to be in a Vet TV skit so bad.
The best I got was my name is at the end of Devil Docs. Because I helped them. So, I was a consultant.
So Perky, tell us about the road to where you are now. How did you get involved with Stack Up? What drove you to get involved with Stack Up?
So, that actually goes back to me streaming on Facebook Live. Wow. I used to do retail sales. Those oysters that you open up and they reveal the pearls? I had my own business.
Just regular oysters?
So they're actually they were farmed oysters and they were dyed pearls. But I would buy the oysters from Asia, and then open them. Like people would pay per oyster to find out what was inside the oyster, see what color pearls they got. But anyway, so I was doing retail sales on Facebook. I was making really good money. I absolutely got to the point where I hated running my own business. I hated doing retail sales. I didn't like the interactions I was having with people, and I was like, okay, I always was driven towards gaming. That was my, ultimate, just I want to lose everything was gaming ever since I had gotten back from Afghanistan. And so when I came over to Twitch, I wanted to do something. I still wanted to fulfill my cup with helping people out. So I looked on, I did a Google search and I was like, okay, military gaming and military charity gaming, and Stack Up actually came up. And I had been probably streaming for 2 months at that point. So this is 2018. And by August of 2018, I was on their stream team. And then August of 2019 is when I actually got the job. So kind of where I'm here. I started as part-time temp and part-time temp, turned into full-time or permanent temp to full-time manager.
Hell yeah.
So you guys, your dreams can come true too.
You can
It
do
took
it
me a
too.
very long time to get here. But yeah, I've been this is the longest I've ever had a job since I got out of the military.
Yeah,
So.
I haven't really been able to hold a job out of the Army either. Mostly because of COVID. Like, I was a pipe fitter, and then I got laid off, and I just didn't know what the fuck to do. Now I'm going in IT.
Well, most people like that they can have an employee that knows how to read. So
Yeah, I guess.
I am.
He's
guess.
getting better. He's going to school now.
You're such a piece of
He's
shit.
learning his ABCs.
I could count. I could read. You'll find out. You'll see what he's talking about. Since you haven't listened, you'll get to see what we're talking about here. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that actually like struggle with actually holding a job after they get out. I didn't think I would struggle with it. My biggest thing was they would tell me, like, you don't move as fast. I'm like, I can't move as fast. You bastards.
Yeah, I'm broken. Thank you.
Like, yeah, I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware that I don't move like a spry 21-year-old. Like, fuck you. I'm
Listen here, whippersnapper. Okay.
like, I'm in my 30s and shit, and it's like the getting in the trades. Like, when you get out of the military, it's not for everybody. There's a big expectation of you being able to like do a lot, and our work ethic is there. It's just you know, it's
our body capability is not.
our bodies can't keep up with it, and like
I don't know. If I worked from home though, my work ethic is not fucking there.
I actually getting into IT, I really do want to do a work from home job.
I couldn't do it.
I don't.
My ADHD would be like, there's too many other shit around me that I'm getting nothing done.
Mine is that way to a point where I can focus on things. I just can't. I don't know if I can do an office, dude. I don't know if I can do it. Like, I've never been an office guy ever.
I could only do half and half at the most.
Even in the Army, like, we did a lot of office work, you know, between like between actually getting sent to like the Baltics and shit. But like being in the office, just I fucking hated it. I had to be in the field at some point. I can't just do this sit around and like sit in front of a computer like in an office environment.
I can see that's how I do it. That's how I'm gonna end up being in a sense, because I'm a deployment hound. Like, I love operational life. I love going out and doing shit. I hate what we call blue side life, being in a hospital.
I think it really depends on what it is that you're doing at home. I mean, like, Perky, like most of the things that you're doing, actually almost all of them are capable from being done at home, right?
Yep.
So, but it also, like, the thing that you're doing, like, you love doing it, so it makes it easy.
The only thing I could ever do.
This isn't a job for me. This is something that, you know, I just like doing. So.
Gaming's the only thing I could do from home on a regular basis.
I know.
If I were getting paid for it.
If I could, if I could make this
that's the
into
great
a
thing
full-time
with
job, I'd do
where
it
you
all
work
the
with
time.
streamers.
If I could do this podcast shit full time and get paid for it, like, I wouldn't do anything else ever again.
I didn't get into it early enough.
I got into it in 2019, which still isn't early enough, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe one day, man. You never know. Don't shit on my dreams, motherfucker.
I'm not shitting on your dreams. I'm just saying it's a lot harder to achieve those dreams because you weren't the first there.
I was a soldier. I can achieve anything, man.
But yeah, with me working with streamers is while they're streaming, I can game with them. So I am getting paid to game.
I wish.
You know,
I could do
Perky,
that
some
too.
of our lives aren't that great, all right?
I would love that too. I would love that. Like when I lost my job, I dove headfirst in a streaming, and I was actually doing pretty good for a bit. My ex at the time thought it was the stupidest fucking thing ever.
That bitch, anyways.
Yeah, fuck her. But she, I just, you know, I was like, man, I could really actually take this somewhere. I was doing what Sergeant Jackson is doing.
He was dressing as a woman and everything.
All the shit that Sergeant Jackson was doing, I was doing like back in like 2020 when COVID hit. Like I was wearing a fucking plate carrier. I was doing all the fucking heavy vibes and stuff. But like, I just didn't the drag. I just didn't have the fucking support.
Yeah.
You know, to actually keep pursuing it, and it just like, you know, it just took it away from me. You know? So that ended up kind of.
You can only put so much energy that, you know, into it that you're getting back. So
I was getting it back from community people, but I wasn't getting it back at home. That was the big thing. So like getting it back at home, or it was just like I felt like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should be focusing my time elsewhere. And, you know, because I wasn't working, and the pay that I was getting out of, I wasn't getting disability. Now that I am, it's whatever. But you know, kind of like to help supplement the income I wasn't getting was, you know, through streaming. And it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to pay some bills. But the people at home didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
So it kind of like took it out of me, and I didn't keep going with it, and I regret it.
Should have just started an OnlyFans.
Should have. Dude, I should have started an OnlyFans.
Or an Only Toes. Hell.
Oh, God.
You want to hear something funny, dude? Okay, so first article. So
I'm concerned because I said Only Toes, and then you said, you want to hear something funny?
So you know how our first article that we're going to actually talk about is like the soldier with the Hooters girlfriend. There's an ad.
Nobody else knows that except for us.
I know that, but like, okay, so one of our topics is about a guy doing a viral video on TikTok. He's a soldier, E6, with his girlfriend who's a Hooters girl, and halfway down the article is an ad for Hooters.
It's phenomenal marketing. It's genius.
Perfect.
But yeah, let's actually kind of talk some of these topics, because, you know, the military is a very fickle thing, and it's full of wonders. Always full of wonders. Like you have like people selling secrets. Oh, that's something we could actually talk about. How a bunch of fucking sailors were selling information to China.
There's one sailor.
Was it one sailor? I thought it was two.
There's one. I didn't,
wasn't it through Discord that he was?
That was the Air Force guy.
No, it might have been two. It might have been two.
No, this guy
I think it was only one.
There was a guy that was selling information to China for like 15 grand.
I sent you an article when it came out a while back.
I know, and I forgot to read it. But our topics right now that we have are the Hooters girl. Apparently,
you couldn't read it. That's the real answer.
The shut the fuck up.
Too many big words.
So this dude that's been viral on TikTok with this Hooters girl dance apparently had been viral before over like some kind of divorce that he posted on social media. So,
and I don't remember. I don't remember the originality of it.
I don't remember it either. It's hard to top the He's a Marine viral video.
True.
It's hard to top that.
He's here.
Who?
He's at Liberty.
Who? This guy?
Liberty.
It's Fort Bragg.
Fayetteville. Well, yeah, but
they changed the name.
I'm reading a freaking article. July 1st is when they changed it to Liberty.
I know, and I'll never call it
maybe
that.
Officially.
No.
Maybe officially.
Nobody.
It's always brag.
It's always going to be brag. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's brag. If they want to get mad at me for calling it brag, I'm like, that sounds like something a leg would say. Anyway, sorry, Perky.
No, she jumped. She just, broke.
Just didn't pop my cherry.
You popped something.
It's funny. It's funny that It's funny that she says that, because every first jump with your unit when you get out of airborne school is the popping your cherries.
It's you popping your cherry.
So what they do is traditionally you put a cherry pie in your cargo pocket, and you do your jump, and then when you land, you eat the cherry pie.
Mm-hmm. It's tradition.
It's tradition, bro. Kind of like how the Navy has sex with a goat. So it's like,
That's not like, we don't have to do anything special for that. That's just a regular Tuesday.
But the goat's been around since the early days of the Navy, because they're like under the guise of like it's livestock that stays versus it's a free puss to slam.
No, actually, sailors would have sex with, what was it?
Manatees.
Manatees, yeah, because their vagina is the closest to a human's.
That's where the mermaid fucking lore came from.
That's where mermaid came from.
It's funny. The true history of mermaid lore came from delusional sailors that are just like out at sea for so long that their minds are going crazy. And pretty much
they didn't have vitamin C and they had scurvy.
And it was being like no vitamin C, having scurvy, being backed up, like backed up for like months at sea to the point where it's like everything looks fuckable at that point. Like that fucking chicken and that chicken we were gonna cook for dinner tonight is looking pretty good.
The origin of like the goat thing is pretty cool though. A lot of like the OG actual traditions and lore behind things for the Navy wise are really cool. They're just kind of lost nowadays.
They're lost nowadays because we know the truth. Anyway, so
Okay.
so also another topic we're gonna talk about is former soldier indicted for stealing a Humvee and crashing it at Fort Stewart. I remember seeing this on TikTok, like this Humvee just smashed into the front fucking doors of looks like headquarters, which is pretty funny. We'll find out more about that. And everyone acts like, how did someone steal a Humvee? Like, have you ever like been in a Humvee? How easy?
He found the keys.
He found the keys. He found the keys to the Humvee. Because I did see comments like, how did he get the keys for that? It was just like, oh my God. Okay.
That's glorious.
Some gaming news. David Vonderhaar, who is he was a top guy at Treyarch, leaves after almost 19 years. And I'm sure before we even read this, it's going to be a whole like, I just want to move on to bigger, better adventures, and not at all the fact that Activision fucking sucks.
I remember stories of him leaving a couple of years ago.
Was it the same guy?
Yeah.
So he came back and left again?
No, I just don't think he left. It was either fake or he just ended up staying. Because I do remember there was talks of him like leaving. And I was like, oh no, Treyarch's gonna suck now. Because he's a big what I think they're better in Infinity War, but he's one of the big ones that was behind zombies too.
We'll find out more about why he's making his wonderful exit. Some Twitch news. Twitch will now finally let streamers ban users from even watching their streams, which has been a highly requested feature for years.
Why?
Well, because what do you mean why? So
if
the
they
biggest
can't chat.
So the biggest issue is you have people that you ban for harassing you. You don't want them to watch you because they can still gather information about you while watching you, even if you can't see them. On top of that, they can create alt accounts, which I don't know what they're going to do about that. But even though that they're banned, they can actually like do the hate raid thing that used to be a popular trend, guide people to those streams, even though that well, pretty much what it is, it keeps them, they can't chat, but they can still watch and guide people to that stream. Well, if they're banned from it, like it's really hard for them to guide it and then, get the satisfaction of watching people do this hate raid,
It's not.
They don't get there.
It's a Band-Aid. It's almost like it's a facade where it's making people feel comfortable and it's not fixing anything. Because regardless, all you have to do is one, those people are just going to make a new account. Two, you don't even have to be logged in to watch somebody. They just don't. That account can't watch. So they're like, oh, okay, let me log out real quick, and then I'll go.
Yeah, log out, incognito mode. I mean, there's so many.
I don't think this actually even does anything. This just makes the streamer feel better.
Fighting the harassment on Twitch is an ongoing battle that's been going on for years, and I don't think there's going to be a real easy fix for it.
I don't think there is either, but I think this is just making the streamer feel comfortable when it's not truly doing anything.
Last episode we talked about how a guy jumped the border in North Korea to escape justice, and
now we know why.
And this is what he's been claiming to say to North Korean officials, right? I also want to point out that there is a fucking ad here for a product that doesn't look like anything. I don't know how to explain it. This doesn't look like an innocent product. Let me just kind of go real quick.
An innocent product.
So you're looking at the same article I am, right?
The North Korea gives reason, right?
Yeah. Do you see the little product placements on the right?
No, I have my windows smaller.
Okay, so I see what looks to be a butt plug. It's underneath a hat with some.
I do not see that.
Yeah, no, I have Petco.
You don't see that?
I just want to say most people's ads are tailored to like their search history and everything. So
I want to share my screen on here so bad, but everybody on the fucking will see it on OBS. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But
I don't know what you're purchasing or clicking on, buying in your spare time, sir, that your ads are like, he might need a new butt plug.
Yeah, I have tinnitus. I have what other ones I have? Nerve damage, dentures. Thanks for calling me old. Appreciate that.
My ads are a ball cap with
burgers.
my ads are a ball cap with goggles on it, a butt plug looking thing, and a fucking robot dog.
Well, you know a little bit more about your search history here.
And it's like, huh. That's very interesting ads. But anyway, so now we know why, but we also have an image of him at that tour that he was on when he skipped the fence, you know? So we'll dive into that. A little bit of an update there.
Like Tiger Woods was in South Korea.
This one's kind of a crazy story. So a soldier is accused of killing his wife and told officers he didn't want them seeing his embarrassing sex stuff, quote unquote. Interesting. So
y'all soldiers lately.
Hey man, every episode something happens with a branch in every episode. It seems to be a theme for that day.
What the Navy's doing, we're getting paid for the stupid shit we're doing. Right?
I mean, technically, he was being paid when he killed his wife. So, I mean,
I don't know. It's like that guy, the people selling shit to China. I guess he's getting his.
No, he wasn't. He was National Guard, so he was doing it on his own time. Both of them were Army.
They go to the same boot camp.
We'll talk about that a little bit more, and then we're gonna do a continuation of our 150 reasons of why I should not reenlist. And I'm sure Perky could, attest to some of this shit. Even though, like, when you got out, it was a lot of it before this. But sorry, but it was. But I mean, it still holds true. I'm curious, like, 'cause you got out in 04, so I wonder how much of this shit still holds true from the past. I'm always interested to know that too. It's because it's like, it seems to be like the bullshit that happens in the military has been an established thing of bullshit for fucking decades.
Years. Yep.
And things don't change. Things seldom change.
They really don't.
They really don't. And it's like, why are people not staying in anymore? I don't know.
Can't imagine why.
I can't imagine either. It's a fucking,
I have no idea.
It's an absolute mystery.
The world may never know.
Let's talk about our first topic about the Hooters girl.
I prefer Twin Peaks, but
so soldier in video and Hooters girl identified as the same soldier from a viral divorce. Staff Sergeant in the U.S. Army is giving us yet another reason why military service on social media can cause controversy by displaying behavior that has perpetuated stereotypes about enlisted life since the beginning of time. And it's funny because where was the comment that I saw? It was like, fucking, here I am, is like, we get shit as E4s for not marrying strippers, but the E6 is able to do it. So the divorce and rebound drama of a U.S. Army couple has resurfaced on TikTok after a soldier was featured on a video grinding with a Hooters waitress in his uniform. Why do they choose to do this in fucking uniform? Always in uniform.
Always in uniform.
It's like
you're just so stupid.
And it's like you're not a senior NCO, but you're an E6. And it's like E6s are always kind of like heralded as like some of the top tier NCOs besides an E7. Like E6s are like the E7s depend on the E6. And, the E6 can often be in an E7 position. Like they are they're the backbone of the NCOs. I think
she's giving someone a backbone.
Yes, definitely. That's putting it lightly. So the video shared by Not in Regs. I thought it said out of regs. I was gonna say
that'd have been great.
That'd have been great. I'd be like, Blake, dude, you got featured on Popular Military. So, so the video shared by Not in Regs shows the aforementioned NCO dancing with a Hooters waitress, his new wife, believed to be one who works in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Because that always goes well.
I know that Hooters.
You do, don't you?
I haven't been there in years, but
maybe you know the girl too.
For those that do not know, Fayetteville is home to Fort Liberty, formerly known as Fort Bragg. It's Bragg. Shut the fuck up. So
a giant ad for fucking Hooters. Jesus
now,
Christ.
you saw it? You see? So
It's it's like local school supply drive.
Employees of the Hooters in Fayetteville, North Carolina Facebook. Wait, oh my God, it's the link to it's the flyer for their Facebook. That's crazy.
Oh man, where are the Hooters though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh my God, wait.
I mean, all titties matter, but
way to piggyback on my fucking thing that I said.
I didn't see what you were talking about earlier, but now I understand. I mean, like all titties matter, but we got a reputation to uphold here, girls.
I really love this engagement photo. This engagement photo is him standing behind her, and she's like, "Look at my ring."
And
like,
she's bent over.
She's bent over, and like, you know, it's just like, and he's just like, "This is the best time of my life."
With a dirty mirror too.
I just
looks
saw
like he's crying.
that TikTok from Not in Regs.
Oh, is the TikTok on here?
Yeah, it's right below the picture.
It's right. I was gonna say it's above the picture for me.
Oh, that's saying bad gateway for me.
Wow, R.I.P.
Let me refresh it. There we go.
So
I just had to hit refresh.
What in the world?
Why is it always like that's like the early days of
hang on, let me unmute this. This
TikTok.
might be a little loud for y'all. So give me a second. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let me restart that video. It's funny.
Of cringe.
He wasn't in uniform when he started this. He was not. He wasn't.
The transition was flawless.
And it makes it. It just makes it so much. I can't even appreciate the editing because it's just so.
Why though, man? Like you didn't have to fucking go in uniform for this, bro.
Nope.
Like I get her change. That's fine. I understand.
And Perky did bring up a good point. Wash your fucking mirror before you take a picture in it. Like Jesus Christ.
Doesn't it look like he came on the mirror?
This definitely looks like some questionable substance around his face, like on his eye. And
Like it looked like jizz on the mirror.
Hey, let me watch the video again. Is there some hardware there that we're not seeing? No, there's not.
We're just not paying attention. It's a pretty empty fucking room.
Yeah. Well,
Probably a spare bedroom.
Is that a blanket on the? Are they sleeping on the ground?
Good point. I noticed that too. I'm like, y'all don't have a fucking like. This is like the sleeping on an air mattress on the floor. I'm like, did your ex-wife take everything from you? What's up? Like, you have no bed?
She about to take everything too. Goddamn, she's taking that blanket.
This is not going to go well. This is not going to go well for this guy.
What is she thinking? That's what I'm trying to figure. You know, she's trying to get that BH and Tricare. I know exactly what she's thinking.
She's trying to get. He's trying to get out of the barracks, and actually no, he's sick, so he doesn't have to have.
She's trying to get health insurance.
Pretty much. So it says the male U.S. Army staff.
Expensive here.
Huh?
It's expensive here.
Oh, you're still down there?
I am here currently.
So
anyone that lives around a military base, especially that works at Hooters, they know what they're fucking doing. Okay.
100%. 100%. I had a Hooter. I had a Hooter shirt from fucking Fort Benning after I got out of airborne school that I was just like trying to flirt with all the. I was trying to be this fucking guy. But I mean, I wasn't trying to marry one of them. I was just trying to get them all to sign a fucking t-shirt for me. So it says the male.
He's trying to get him to sign something.
I was trying to get him to sign something.
That's what he's doing. This guy's doing boot shit.
I was doing boot shit. This dude doing boot
shit. That's what I'm saying. This guy's doing boot shit.
This guy is definitely doing boot shit. So the male U.S. Army Staff Sergeant by the name of Hilmer was recognized as the same soldier in a viral divorce video in 2021.
I want to see that video because I don't know what that is.
We'll go to it. So the staff sergeant whose patch is that of the 108th Air Defense Artillery Brigade was identified by commenters as the ex-husband of another TikTok user, a fellow staff sergeant who goes under the handle Peyton Ralvard.
Yeah.
Here's the video. It says the staff sergeant whose name we have removed at their request, also previously of the 108th ADA, posted a viral video that depicted the strains of the divorce and their relationship coming to an end. So this is from her. So it should have never ended like this. Saying goodbye to the last 3 years. Oh shit! I didn't mean to actually click.
Aww.
We don't need the sad music. Is there children? Do they have children together? How many fucking kids they got?
There's the one.
I just saw multiple pictures. So.
And a nice dog.
What? That told me nothing. Why was that viral?
Because people like sympathy, or like, you know, looks like they only have one kid together. And there's the bed. Like, look at about 30 seconds. There's the bed that's missing. So she did get it. She got the bed in the divorce.
Well, she took everything. She had to have taken everything.
Mm-hmm.
He had to have fucked up, because even still.
I also want to point out that his wife is
which one?
His previous wife,
his first wife,
is like fucking exponentially better than the chick that he's got now.
I don't know if you've seen the crazy to hot ratio, but
the scale, the bar graph or whatever. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck how hot you are. Somewhere, someone's tired of your shit.
But here, okay, so I'm curious the backstory of this divorce, because given his current new decision with his new wife, I want to say that this might have been his fault.
Of the previous divorce?
The previous divorce, given the fact that he has currently made a fucking boot choice of marrying a chick, like, and doing those kinds of videos, I want to say,
yeah, that's possible.
All signs are pointing to, I think this might have, I don't know. I want to clarify. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case or not.
I know it's so hard to tell, because we know the type of women that these type of guys will generally marry too.
Well, let's continue with the rest of the article. So it says this contrasts heavily with the videos of her ex-husband gallivanting with a restaurant waitress. A restaurant.
That's glorious.
However, the irony of this was not lost on people who commented on the video posted by Not in Regs. One user commented, "Do I really want to say what I am thinking?" And it says, "We thought staff sausage would know better," said another. "Turns out he doesn't." And
Excuse me, staff sausage?
Yeah, we call sergeant sausage. Like first sausage.
The fuck?
And then this other one says, "So when I marry the stripper, it's a bad specialist, but when Big Sarn does it, it's okay." Another chimed in, "I hate it here." But it's true, because now I want to know the fucking story about this, because it's like,
she's not a stripper. She's serving wings. Short shorts.
Okay, so like I'm saying that, like, the context for that comment was like, so when I marry the stripper, it's like a bad specialist, but when Big Sarn makes a decision similar to that, it's okay. That's the point he's getting at. I understood what he meant.
I understand,
but I do want to know the backstory of this, because and if anybody is watching this knows, tell us in the comments.
All 50 of y'all.
All 50 of y'all. I want to know, because I am curious, because it's just like, this seems like he heavily downgraded.
She's still actively making content too.
Is she? Let me look.
Yep.
Let's go.
She her last video was posted like in the beginning or middle of May.
We gotta remember, both of them are. So if both of them are still active, that would be hard to truly figure out who was more at fault. I think
I'm gonna go off and say that I don't know the situation, but it seems like dude fumbled the bag hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Probably.
Look at his ex-wife.
That video like said straight traumatic divorce. Like he fucked
but that
up.
was also what it was designed to do, and that's the part of me where I'm like, why are you trying to get attention like this?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about his video with the
No, her video.
Her video, the goodbye, the viral video.
Like, it seemed legit, but that's what makes me suspicious. that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, like I said, we don't know the situation. I want to know more because, you know, it's not very common for me to, you know, because I've seen it firsthand of like, you know, my best friend went through a fucking bad divorce, and it was 100% his ex-wife that was the cause of it, of all the bullshit she was doing.
And he could just be bouncing back here.
And this guy could just be like, you know, this could be him just having a rebound. I want to know the story because it's just like, man, that was your wife. Like, that was your wife. And this is now your current wife. So what the fuck happened? I want to know.
Maybe she's great in bed. You never know. It's always the crazy ones.
I mean, someone that makes a TikTok of her basically, you know, grinding and shit. And then this is their fucking announcement of their wedding photo. You know, this to me screams like not good intentions, in my opinion.
So the video before her viral video was...
Which one? The previous wife?
So, no, yeah, the first wife. So the viral video it was July 28th, 2021. The video prior to that was in June 7th, and she is in a bikini, and she is like angling and mom bod and all different kinds of stuff.
The social media thing.
Yeah, the social media thing. So if you're like going through a divorce,
I've never been through a divorce, so I have no idea.
Oh.
I mean, a divorce is just a more legal breakup.
It is a very legal breakup. This is very true. It's like it's a breakup, but the court's involved.
Yeah, I love the government.
A government official has to tell you about your breakup, pretty much, and they dictate all of it. I mean, who knows? It could have been just a mutual like thing. Like, you know, we don't know the story. I'd like to know.
No.
I don't want to be like.
I was being really nosy and looking at some of the content previous.
Well, that's what happens when you put your life on social media.
You put your
people
life
get nosy.
People get nosy. Especially,
I'm nosy. I'll fully admit it.
I can search all of it too.
Especially if
quit being so nosy. Quit posting your shit.
Especially if the topic of that video is a fucking news article.
It's drama.
And it's just like you put that out there for everyone to see, and now like an actual like news outlet is talking about it. People are going to look.
People can't get upset. People cannot get upset about that.
No,
like,
they can't.
If you're one of these people, let's say, and you get upset about people either one looking at your stuff or talking about it, don't fucking post.
Don't put it out there.
Don't put it out there. Dude, it's the same with me. Like when I was going through my split, even though we weren't married, me and my ex were together for 10 years. And that was like throughout my entire Army career and all that stuff. And it didn't end very good. We had a house together and stuff, even though the house was in my name, thank Christ. But like, you know, it wasn't a good breakup, but I didn't fucking talk about it at all. And I didn't post about it. She didn't post about it. Like, it was just like, it was our business and we kept it off. Because it was like all people need to know is that we're not together anymore. That's as far as that people really need to know.
That bitch, she took the couch.
to be fair, it was her couch. She bought it. So
prove it. Show me the receipt.
I didn't sign my name on any of it. That was the thing. But so anyway, our next before we get into our next topic, I have to take a piss. So if anyone else ad break. So if anyone's got a pee right now, do it now.
Then just finish my.
I'll be right back. Regiment in this podcast is also proudly partnered with Stack Up. Stack Up is another military gaming organization. The one thing different, though, is that they focus mostly on the mental health of veterans as well as the betterment of veterans alike. One of the programs that Stack Up has is their STOP, or Overwatch program, which is a 24/7 crisis support line for veterans. The thing that sets Stack Up's Overwatch program above all other crisis support lines, including the VAs, is the fact that this 24/7 crisis line is operated by trained veterans. So when a veteran calls in crisis, they're not just talking to a random person. They themselves are talking to a vet that has also gone through something similar and can relate to the situation. Their trained staff in this Overwatch program will help a veteran find the resources that they need to find help. And if the person just wants somebody to talk to, the Overwatch program is great for that too. Another cool thing that the Overwatch program does is that you don't have to sit there and talk on the phone with somebody. If you feel comfortable just doing DMs, they can definitely do that too. Another really cool thing that StackUp has is their air assaults. Air assaults are where they'll take a veteran and fly them to conventions all over the country. This includes TwitchCon, Comic-Con, anywhere in the U.S., all expenses paid. And if a convention happens to be somewhere out west in California, StackUp has what's called a Phalanx House, which is essentially a gaming lounge for all veterans to just go to. StackUp will definitely hook you up with that. They have pool tables, hot tubs, and just a place to stay if you're out west. It's pretty cool. Another thing that StackUp has is their supply crates. Now, what they'll do is they'll take gaming equipment, gaming consoles, and other cool swag and send it to either a veteran in need or a unit somewhere deployed or a unit that needs it. This is a great way to keep veterans connected and boost the morale of the veterans that need it. Every year, StackUp has a charity called the Call to Arms. The Call to Arms charity is to help StackUp raise the funds that they need for all the awesome programs that they have. Last year alone, they raised $625,000, and all of that money goes to keeping these programs going to help other veterans that need it. If you're looking to donate, we have the donation link down in the bio. But if not, go ahead and spread the word of this awesome charity and head on over to stackup.org and check them all out. That's stackup.org and tell them Regiment sent you.
And we're back.
And we're back. The pee is out of my body. So we're going to talk about the next topic, which is, so a former soldier is indicted for stealing a Humvee because he found the keys and crashed it at Fort Stewart.
You gave me the wrong fucking order.
What?
No,
You bastard.
I went down the whole list. Perky's got the order.
Twice.
This sounds like a you issue. Sounds like an issue, not an issue me. So, former soldier indicted for stealing Humvee and crashing it at Fort Stewart.
You know, last episode we had mentioned, it was in one of the article, the Facebook stuff for the reason not to re-enlist. It talked about you're a soldier 24/7 or whatever. And my example was stuff like this. Because no matter what the fuck happens, your name is irrelevant.
You will always be known as a former soldier, former Marine,
yeah.
former
Even when
sailor.
you're out, it's former soldier.
Your affiliation with the military is the first thing that people will tie to you for anything that you fucking do.
Exactly.
Anything. Unless you're that guy that's gone viral on TikTok for his song, Rich Men North of Richmond. You heard that song?
Oh, I heard that yesterday. That dude, he's living off the grid, like in Virginia. Yeah, that was really cool.
And
I just heard it yesterday.
The dude turned down an $8 million record offer.
It's smart.
And when I was watching that guy, I'm like, that dude's got to be a vet. But I couldn't find anything saying that he was. But apparently he is. Apparently he's an Iraq war vet. So
that's crazy. He's only been making music for like a year.
Yeah.
And he's got, it's freaking insane. That guy's amazing.
What's his name? Oliver.
We are so squirrel.
I know. Oliver.
It's a running theme.
Yeah.
So it says, okay, I'm really curious if the dude is actually a vet, because there was nothing I saw one news outlet say that he was an Iraq vet, and I couldn't, and nothing that he said about himself.
I'll say he doesn't sound like he's claiming anything.
He's not. He even made a Facebook post like saying this isn't what he wanted. He didn't want to be #1 on iTunes and all that shit. But he, and in the entire, he gave a backstory of himself, and nowhere in that backstory did he mention that he served. So I'm curious if he actually did, because I saw one news outlets say that he did, and I'm like, what? Nothing in there says that. Nothing in what he said says that he did.
Well, back to the Humvee. I want to hear about this.
Okay, fine. We'll get back to the Humvee. So, a federal jury has indicted the retired Army Staff Sergeant. What's up with the E6s, man? For crashing a stolen vehicle in a Fort Stewart's post headquarters building. Tremont Dominic Lacey, 39, is accused of stealing a Humvee and driving it through the front doors of 3rd ID's headquarters in the Army on the Army installation. How did he get there? I'm wondering, actually, because now that I'm
He
thinking
found
about
the
it.
keys.
Oh, he's retired. So
Yeah,
he was able to get on posts because he's retired.
Or he just retired. Well, he's 39, so he probably is retired.
So Tremont Lacey will be tried on charges of damage and theft to government property and faces up to 20 years in prison, along with the substantial financial penalties, according to WTOC. Fort Stewart officials said Lacey left the Army as a staff sergeant after serving from 2002 to 2013. He's been out for a while. He's been out for 10 years.
So if he's retired, it's either medical or they're just misusing the word retired.
He can be medically
retired. Yeah, I think retired to non-veterans is just a word, whereas to us it means that you did like 20 or you got medically separated.
So he
was to be 39. Yeah, that must have been medically retired or
If it's well, I don't know.
I'm guessing.
So confusing.
So it says he was a wheeled vehicle mechanic who deployed in Iraq twice.
Is there vehicles without wheels? That's my question.
So the tanks,
rotary vehicles, tracked vehicles,
tracked vehicles.
I stand corrected. Continue.
Amphibious vehicles.
I'm gonna go fuck myself. Continue.
Court documents show Lacey has prior arrests for DUI and disorderly conduct. According to WTOC, the crash occurred around 10 a.m. and no one was injured. So an unconfirmed report from the Terminal C chief warrant officer claims Lacey is homeless and managed to steal the Humvee before crashing. Here's the photos.
I have questions. Who just left the Humvee?
This looks like an old... Look at the rust on the fucking turret plate, though.
Who? That just seems like military equipment.
Dude, I've never seen... I'm sorry, but I've never seen a turret plate that fucking rusty in my entire life. That's fucking bad. It might be. It might be just one of them deadline vehicles that the fucking motor pool just never worked on. Maybe they should be doing their motor pool Mondays.
PMCSs?
Yeah, no PMCSs.
They even call it?
Yep. Oh, yeah. They still call it PMCSing. So the content of this...
They call it kicking the tire and moving about their day.
Yeah, and this is him getting arrested. This is... one angle of the Humvee, but yeah, look at that fucking turret plate. That is so shit. And the rest of the Humvee is, I mean, I don't know. I can't really, it's too far away. But yeah, I want to say this might be either a combination of alcohol and mental health issues, especially given that he is homeless. This is not the article speaking. This is me. This is my assumption. Like, the guy is going through some shit. And, okay, yeah, so he's homeless. I'm assuming he doesn't have any like retirement ID, because I know when you retire medically or otherwise, like they give you like a fucking ID.
You get a blue ID.
No, there's plenty of homeless, but because I only know this from working at Great Lakes, that a lot of the vets that we would see and a lot of the vets that come through because there's a whole homeless like part of the hospital for like resources and
is that off
like
base though? Because the VA is right there.
It's the same thing. Because that VA is technically base because it's...
But you don't have to go through the gate guard to get to the VA.
Not in Great Lakes, but there's still a gate there.
There is a gate there, yes, but there's no... I never get stopped going in.
Not at Stewart.
The only reason...
No, not at Stewart, really?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason there's not a gate there is because it's mostly a VA.
Right. So the thing I'm wondering is, how the fuck did this dude get on base? Because you were saying not at Stewart, they do have gate guards there, or were you saying
they do have gate guards? So like here at Bragg, like I can go and I can get a pass. I can get an annual pass, and as long as I just show my like civilian ID, like my driver's license, I can go on post.
But where I was getting with this is, there's a lot of homeless vets that are legitimately retired, and they do get some benefits.
Yeah.
They're just homeless.
And they have their actual like ID and shit with them?
Yeah.
They do?
Because they're authorized. They may not be like 100%. But they are qualified for some services, and a lot of them will try to get obviously more services or like resources and stuff. And it is a bit easier if you have veteran status if you're homeless. But they still have those veteran cards, And if they're retired, then they still have that veteran ID as well.
But you check in when you go in.
Not really.
No.
No, you just
not all
flash your
places.
ID. It's not like most of the scanners, even around here, don't even work. As
And
long
I've
as you
been
just
to
verify.
a number of Army bases. I have never felt less safe on a base ever.
Dude,
like fucking taxi driver just chilling, coming through gate. I'm like, why are y'all even here? Why do we have people checking IDs? What is the purpose?
Getting on Great Lakes Naval Base, they fucking screamed at me because I didn't realize they wanted me to stop in the fucking traffic circle.
Yeah, that's slightly different because they're a training base and they take that
so
shit.
There's a traffic circle.
serious.
So there's the gate to get in, and then there's a traffic circle, and then there's the actual gate guard post.
Mm-hmm.
So like with any traffic circle, you don't stop in the fucking middle. You keep going, and then you turn off at wherever you're getting off at. I was doing that, and the dude fucking like put his hand out and started screaming at me, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do? Stop in the middle of this thing?"
Was a civilian?
No.
Oh, the civilian cops there are fucking dicks.
No, this is an actual like fucking gate guard. So like an actual.
Well, they can
like,
be dicks too, though.
They can be dicks. And then the guy was being a complete fucking prick, and then he saw my ID, and I was just like, "What's your deal?" He's like, "Well, he's like, next time you come through here, you need to stop right there." I'm like, "You want me to stop in the traffic circle?" I'm like, why do you guys have a traffic circle? That's not how those work. But I digress.
On their port, they're supposed to be like that.
I understand. What, they have to have a traffic circle right in front of the fucking gate?
No. They have to.
You have to stop right here.
They have to be authoritative. Is the term I'm looking for.
I understand that. I understand that completely, and then that's completely fine. However, the design of them putting a traffic circle right there is so stupid.
Well, a lot of these bases, so like
that was pre 9/11.
Yeah, with that too. But a lot of, so like Great Lakes, particularly for this example, just because I know that base, there were other gates that used to be open, and that gate with the traffic circle was not the main gate a long time ago. The main gate used to be where the NEX PX is.
Yeah,
like a little bit down the street.
I remember that,
and that's completely closed out. It's never open. It's basically just part of the fence now.
It's kind of like Bragg. There's like 50 gates and only 2 of them are open.
Yeah. And so like back.
They actually changed that.
Did they?
Yeah.
So there's 3 open now?
Well, so you can't drive through Bragg Boulevard anymore. You actually have to go around.
Why?
Because they lessened so there's the Knox Gate. There's the Pope Air Force or the Pope Army Airfield Gate. And then there is the Army All-American.
So that's 3 gates.
3 gates. Mm-hmm.
You were right.
I was right. I was good. I knew it was gonna be one. I knew it was gonna be one more fucking gate.
3 out of how many?
Oh no, I'm lying. 4, because then there's the Randolph Gate. Because after you get off, so there's 4.
And
there used to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There used to be 12.
4 of the 12 gates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in Great Lakes, there used to be like where I went to school to be a corpsman was there, and one of those that had a gate right there, and that used to be one of the regular gates too. Yeah, I think back in the day, a lot more gates were open because it was like the airport, just less security. You had more ports to go through. It wasn't so bottlenecked. There was less population, so there's less traffic. But all of those are factors. They just chose a terrible fucking gate to use as their main gate.
That's every base, dude. Every base chooses the dumbest fucking gates to go in and out of.
Yeah, would it be a military decision if it were smart?
Nope.
Nope.
No, it would not. If you aren't questioning things,
that's
then
not military.
Everything, yeah. I question things if they are going smoothly. I'm concerned. Like this is going way too well. I don't trust it.
I am on this. I agree with you. All right, so let's we're gonna dive into some gaming news now. We kind of take a break from the military shit because that's what we do here. So David,
excuse me.
I'm sorry. I thought I smelled a burning electrical.
I thought you were gonna say shit, but I smell.
Anyway, David Vonderhaar leaves Treyarch after almost 19 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. David Vonderhaar, his name was synonymous with the success of Treyarch's string of Call of Duty titles since starting with the firm in 2004 and coming over from Activision before that. Vonderhaar worked...
That's interesting, actually, because he came from Activision before the... No, that doesn't make sense.
It says right here, since starting with the firm in 2004 and coming over from Activision before that, Vonderhaar...
No, I'm thinking of... Well, because they were all... The Activision was always the publisher regardless. I'm thinking of a different situation.
So Vonderhaar worked on the design front, handling content for the 8 individual Call of Duty games, some of the best titles in the series had ever seen. Minutes ago, Vonderhaar announced that his departure from Treyarch on LinkedIn after almost 19 years with the company, revealing that he's moving on to work with an undisclosed project that's both a rare and unique opportunity. He was referred...
This article came out today, by the way.
I know. Because today is fucking August 18th, and that's when it's dated. So he's going to an undisclosed project that is both rare and unique opportunity. He was referred to in the comments on this post as an integral part of Call of Duty, and that is certainly true given what he went on to design and create. So Vonderhaar was responsible for designing some of the most important elements of some of the biggest Call of Duty games of all time, like 2010's Black Ops. In his post on LinkedIn, Vonderhaar shared a sentimental message with his followers and the Call of Duty community at large. Thank you to Call of Duty for your passion. Thank you for the Call of Duty community for your passion and enthusiasm. That energy has often fueled our determination as a studio and individuals. I will always be grateful for the opportunity to interact with so many of you directly online and in person. This energy will always be a massive part of me. He went on to stress that he will remain in the games industry, but not known for what he's moving into.
Ooh, what if he's going to Midnight Society?
Mm.
Ooh, that's a good point. That is a good point.
That would be epic.
It was a few years ago that some doubt started circulating regarding Vonderhaar's position at Treyarch, with certain cryptic tweets surfacing in 2019 that pointed to what seemed to be an imminent departure. That's what I was
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, those tweets were promptly deleted. The whole thing was put to bed, and Vonderhaar put a few years into his tenure at Treyarch.
So he was going to leave.
I think he might have been going to leave, but he wasn't sure. It's undoubtedly a huge hole for Treyarch to fill, and we're joining many fans and wishing David Vonderhaar all the best with whatever comes next. I honestly think he was going to leave because of Black Ops 4 and how that went to shit. And mostly went to shit because of what Activision wanted Black Ops to be. Battle Royale only, multiplayer only, no story, no nothing, no zombies. None of that other shit that Treyarch is known for.
I don't think that would have made sense.
2019.
That game would have already been finished by then.
It would have been, it would have been finished, but at the same time, like 2019, during that whole thing when 2019 was the year that loot box bullshit came out. What are you about
the
to say?
microtransaction, yeah.
I was thinking, because Black Ops was already done. 2019, Modern Warfare was coming out that year.
Yes.
So they would have already been working on another, like their next technical title. And
Cold War.
That was when, no, they weren't working on Cold War.
Black Ops
Sledgehammer
4 came out in 2018.
18.
Yeah.
And Cold War was Sledgehammer.
2020.
Black Ops or Treyarch got put on that after because Sledgehammer was not doing well, and they couldn't agree with a lot of stuff. And so Treyarch got put onto halfway through. That's why it felt like an unfinished game.
I know.
And I feel like that may have been part of it because they were trying to work on like their next game 3 years down the fucking road. Because they were gonna keep it. I think it might have been Cold War. Or they were going to have it named Cold War anyways, but they had to do it early. And like those decisions, he was like, I don't want to be a part of that. I think that was more likely just because I feel like it lines up. Because Black Ops 4 was already done by then.
He was probably wanting to leave because like he just didn't like the trajectory of where it was going. And it was like, well, we'll see what Cold War is going to, we'll see what this next project's going to be. And They were
Same shit,
working on that,
different game.
and then they threw them on to, like, it was in 2020, 2021 when Treyarch had to actually like help out with fucking Cold War, and they were just like, oh my god, well, I guess we'll just make the game that we were already making and just tie it in, and then it was shit. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
What if it is Midnight Society though?
I mean, it would make sense because, you know, didn't Dr. Disrespect say that he was like having former Call of Duty developers working on the game?
Yeah, currently he already does. Like, I mean, there's a million devs.
And what other
Yeah.
one besides this guy to add to the project?
This would be a big one for sure.
I mean, it makes sense. What else would he go on? What other game?
We should ask Cozy.
Guess he's not gonna be able to tell you.
I'll ask him right fucking now.
We're not gonna put it out. We just want to know for ourselves.
I'm gonna ask Cozy right now. Let me DM him real quick. Where's this? Hang on.
We can't put it out there.
Nosy.
But I want to know. I'm very curious. Because that would be epic. What if Regiment was the first to break that story? Imagine.
Regiment in this podcast is also partnered with BR Paradox. BR Paradox is a company that specializes in custom-built PCs. So if you have an idea for a cool custom-built PC, they can definitely give you the hookup on that. But if you're not in the market for custom PCs, BR Paradox is a wide array of pre-built PCs that you could choose from at great prices. And if you're not in the market right now for a new PC, BR Paradox will definitely hook you up with an optimization. Optimizations take around 10-15 minutes to do, and they're very awesome. I highly recommend them. I had my PC optimized by them, and it's never run smoother since. BR Paradox also has a list of renowned customers ranging from LeBron James, Chris Brown, members of FaZe Clan, and even Angela White from your favorite orange and black site, if you know what I mean. So head on over to brparadox.com to get yourself a PC today or an optimization. And remember to use promo code REGIMENT at checkout. That's promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout. All right. So, well, all we can do about David Vonderhaar is speculate right now. So. But yeah, Modern Warfare 3. So what the fuck? I thought they were not going to do this whole yearly fucking thing.
Yearly cycle. That was going to be like 2 years. Yeah. So do we, and then they reneged on it. So the big thing is they were always going to have a big DLC. Mm-hmm. It was just going to be a major DLC to MW2.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what they said that they were doing.
And it was going to be a massive DLC.
And then out of nowhere,
they're like, oh, no, it's going to be a full game. Okay. You just want us to buy a full game.
Yeah.
But we're paying for a fucking DLC. So, and I think that's evidenced by the fact that it just recently came out and it's confirmed. All of the maps are original OG MW2 maps.
Do they have Rust?
I don't remember. I don't think that was MW2.
Mm-hmm.
That also makes me like, it's just like the fucking classic Activision thing of like selling you content that you've already selling content back to you.
But in MW3, if it's a reimagined MW3, why are all of the maps MW2 OG maps? Also, after they already said this was going to be just a DLC for MW2. This is just kind of further going into confirming that we're just being fed bullshit that it's a full game, quote unquote. Now they are changing a lot of things as far as like the movement. They're changing like the perk system. That's not that hard to do, especially if you make it a separate client, I guess. Like you can change all that shit. That's just coding. But everything is carrying over. Day one, you can use the same fucking weapon from MW2 that you've been playing for all year and got leveled up. Day one of MW3, you can use that goddamn weapon.
Yeah, it's not okay.
That's a DLC. It's fucking DLC.
Yeah.
Nothing from MW3 is going into MW2, which I guess that makes sense. And that's probably some of their justification and be like, oh, it's not a DLC because it's MW3 stuff doesn't go to MW2. That's not justification to me. Kiss my ass. The only thing new that I feel like is truly going to be coming from this is the zombies. And I think Treyarch is in charge of that.
Well, that's what Treyarch's known for, is their zombies, not the actual multiplayer maps.
Well, they've got some phenomenal multiplayer maps.
I'm sorry, I was like doing two things at once, but like, the whole thing when they were talking about getting rid of Warzone 1 and basically like all the shit that everyone had paid for not carrying over to like the new shit. That's so stupid to me.
Did they ever resolve that, or is it still?
I think it's still...
Currently, right now, everything is carrying over.
Okay.
All skins, all everything like that.
It
and
fucking
for Warzone,
matter.
Well, for Warzone 1, it was like that for all of the, what was it, 3 Call of Duties that they had for Warzone 1? It's like all the weapons and everything. So all those skins would be tied to those original games. Now, people were upset because they weren't going into the next Warzone. You can still use those skins in each one of those games. So who the fuck is still playing those games?
Yeah.
But now, I kind of figured everything was going to be going into Warzone because they did that for what, 3 titles last time. Now, everything going from one game to another, that's what's different. That's what is strange.
Oh yeah, going
me.
into no, that makes sense.
The I don't know, like the whole tying in with the way that they were doing Warzone, where like all the Call of Duties would go into Warzone, is kind of like the one thing that made me stop playing.
Yeah, because they don't care about Call of Duty; they care more about Warzone.
They care about Warzone, and it's just like
that's where they make their money.
Well, the worst part was when they made all the fucking meta gear, like the weapons and shit, all the stuff that's like viable for Warzone. You would have to get that. I mean, you don't have to. You can obviously still unlock them through playing Warzone, but it's slower, and you're like it encourages you to buy the game that you don't want to fucking play, in order to have
convenience,
to be up to par with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucked because it's like I didn't want to buy Cold War. I only did so that I could have all this fucking shit for Warzone and grind it out faster. So
now they're starting to dip into like the pay to win aspect.
They always have been
slowly trickling. Because it started with the DMZ stuff, and we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
And now it's come out. One of their packs has a scope. It's like a thermal scope that they've always had, but the one in the pack is better than just the OG one. You can see the contrast is far better.
Which is
everything appears red or whatever.
That is such a weird thing to do, though.
Cold blood.
You know, that is a weird fucking thing to do. Like, why if it's the same optic, but because it's in that bundle, it performs a little bit better. Why do that? I know it's to get people to fucking pay for it, but it's stupid. Because like you're making people pay, like you said, pay to win. You're paying for an advantage, and it's so dumb. Kind of like
they're slowly trickling. They're putting on more and more.
Activision has always fucking been that way, though. They did that shit with Blackout and with the whole the weapon blueprints inside of the loot boxes were fucking OP for some reason. And they said we will never put we will never put weapons in a loot box. And then they ended up doing it. Just in the loot box thing was a thing that they added late. They added it after the review cycle was up. So there was at launch, and Activision is very famous for doing this, is putting in microtransactions and shit that people don't want, but they don't release it right away. They often do it with the first season because the review cycle goes until the first season starts. So they get the reviews all good. Everything looks great, blah, blah, blah. You know, get some good reviews, and then they start rolling out the bullshit after the review cycle's over with. And at that point, the reviews are already out. So the only other thing that you can do is review bomb. I mean, look at Diablo 4 right now. Diablo 4 at launch was fucking awesome. And I still think that I got more than my money's worth out of Diablo 4. However, the decisions they started making rolling into season 1 were so fucking bad that on Metacritic, it dropped Diablo 4's score to one of the lowest scores of all fucking Metacritic, of all their games on Metacritic, besides fucking Overwatch 2. But that's a whole different story. and the Diablo devs were like trying to, you know, get in the good favor of the players to kind of, they showcase, you know, a day with a dev or some shit like that. This new video series that they're doing where they have their devs play the game, and the devs don't know how to play their own fucking game, which reinforced the whole thought that we all had going into Diablo with all these patches and stuff, is that like the big question was when they did this, they did a patch before season 1 that nerfed everything. Basically, like the whole month or two that we were all playing was us testing the game, and then they changed it how they wanted it. So they took all the things that made our build strong. They nerfed everything. They nerfed our resilience for like crowd control stuff, like being frozen and all that stuff. It was broken to begin with. It didn't work. So no resistances to any aspect worked. Any kind of affliction, like being, like I said, being like slowed or cold or bleeding and all that stuff, and all these resistances that you could get on your gear were broken, and they still are, and they never fixed it. Meanwhile, they roll out this massive patch that reduces the amount of damage you can take, reduces your total armor, reduces the amount of damage you can deal, and buff the enemy, and nerf you, and nerf the XP that you gain. And it's like, that patch alone was so bad that it knocked their fucking Metacritic score down so low. And it had everyone asking, do the devs not play their own game? And the devs doing the day with the dev thing where they were playing Diablo showed that no, they don't know what they're doing. They don't play their own game.
That's sad.
And it is sad. And but that goes like, there was even a former Blizzard dev that even said that like the Blizzard of old is dead. If you're expecting to see Blizzard make some kind of comeback to be in its old former glory, it'll never happen, because Activision is Activision. They're going to do their thing, and they're doing the same thing with Call of Duty. Like the whole like 2-year cycle thing where we're going to not release Call of Duty every year. We're going to do it every like 2 or 3 years or something like that isn't happening. And we're seeing that now.
The downside is I don't think they have time to play their game either.
No.
Even if they wanted to, because they're so rushed.
Exactly.
Devs are the passionate ones. I can't fault the devs most of the time when there's a money-hungry company publisher above their head, like Activision, that has no part in the fucking game at all. They're just the ones selling it, marketing it, and basically just making the decisions. They're not doing a damn thing with it.
No, they're not. And it sucks too, because the devs are the backbone of any game, and you have these publishers that, like you said, that are just trying to get the fucking game out at a certain time to make the money off of it, and the publisher doesn't care about what the player wants. The devs do. No dev wants to make a bad game.
For comparison, it's like Activision is like the higher up officers in the military that are so disconnected and make decisions that they think are probably fucking great, and they don't know anything of how it impacts anybody below them, or even care potentially.
Yeah.
Whereas the people down below, they're like, this would be great, but I can't do anything else. I just have to churn and burn. I'm just fucking embracing the suck, just doing it. And then when shit goes wrong, they're the ones that get blamed because they're the ones that fucking technically did it, right? But they were just doing what they were told.
The only way that this will change is from the consumer. The only reason why the things keep staying the way they are, especially with Call of Duty, is because people keep
buying them.
People keep buying them. It's the same shit with Madden. Madden hasn't changed in a decade. And the reason why, like, people are paying now the prices of games are going up, right? So the average price of a game now is $70. So people are paying $70 and then some with all the microtransactions, and nothing is changing. All you're doing is you're paying for a roster update at that point for Madden. For Call of Duty, you're just paying for different weapons,
reskin,
a new skin or a new map or some shit, and maybe a new story. But it's like Call of Duty is the same every fucking year. The only time that it felt different was when Modern Warfare 2019 came out. And I remember this because that was like the first time I'd bought Call of Duty in like a decade. And Modern Warfare 2019, it was very strange on how it evolved into the same thing that we always see. Because the gunplay felt more like Rainbow Six to me. It was slower paced. The guns felt meaty. You know, like it visually looked it looked different. It felt different, and I liked it. But as time went on with every new update, it seemed like that the fucking game just started to go back to how it used to be. And then you saw that with Vanguard and Cold War. Everyone was saying, I even talked about this too, was just like, you know, if you're expecting something different out of Cold War or Vanguard, it's not going to happen. Because you're going to be disappointed because Cold War and Vanguard are going to be off of engines that are older. So the mechanics aren't going to feel the same. People are going to get used to how Modern Warfare 2019 felt. They're going to jump into Cold War and they're going to be like, this feels old. Because it is. And now they're making it a standard that like the Modern Warfare engine is going to be the standard for all the games going forward. But
just because it's the most updated.
It's because it's the most updated. But the point still stands. Every Call of Duty every year, you're paying for the same fucking game. And Call of Duty goes through the same cycle every year of like when it launches, this is the best Call of Duty I've played ever. And
we're not paying for anything anymore anyways, because all this, I can't remember the last time they had a good skin or something in the game that I could earn that wasn't immediately outshined by something that you can purchase.
Right.
I think honestly Black Ops 4 was the last time that I remember actually being able to earn cool shit through gameplay.
It's all about that dollar, bro. You got to make that money. They want to make that fucking money.
True.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't stand Call of Duty. Everyone asks me like, you play COD? I'm like, no, I don't play COD. I
McDonald's of gaming.
It's the McDonald's of gaming. It's comfort food. That's the only reason why people keep buying it, because it's familiar and they're afraid to try something new. Like for
sounds
me,
like a great idea, and you regret it every fucking time.
Every single time. And when that diarrhea hits, and you're like, "This sucked," and I was like, "Exactly. What'd you expect?" I mean,
got off a day of hard work. I'm gonna go play a game that stresses me the fuck out.
Indie games are outshining AAA games. You know, so look at
the devs. It's the passionate people that are out there.
And look at Baldur's Gate 3, for example. So Baldur's Gate 3 was not a AAA game. However, it is the highest reviewed game on Steam. Has, within the first week of it being out, had 800,000 concurrent players. And it's one of those games where it's like you could play it again. It has a lot of replay value because there's just so much to it. And the devs it's almost like the devs know their player base and they give the players exactly what they wanted.
I even do even better. BattleBit. BattleBit was developed by 3 people.
BattleBit is fucking Roblox, but Battlefield. And it's everything that Battlefield doesn't have. Which is fucking crazy, or used to have. It's either what
we all wish was still there.
We all wish it has features that we wish that Battlefield still had, or that like we wish Battlefield would have. And the only thing is, it's like it's fun. It's fucking fun, man.
It's simple.
It's simple and it's fun, and it just shows that like games don't have to have like the best graphics in the world to be good. Because
or a major development team.
Or a major development team. Yeah. You have just a handful of people.
Phasmophobia was 2 people.
And that was probably a massive influx of people that played that for a long time. I mean, a lot of people still play it. And I remember a huge wave that was playing that.
I played it.
Like it's the games that have it's the games that have major publishers now that
are making low quality bullshit.
Shit, yeah.
It's
because they can pay for high quality graphics, they can pay for the marketing behind it, but they can't pay for quality anymore.
No, they can't. It sucks.
because they're trying. They can technically if they let the devs do it and put the time into it that's needed. They don't.
In Modern Warfare 3, it's just going to be. I know how it's going to go. Like, it's going to be like the Warzone content is going to roll into Modern Warfare 3 until it launches in November.
I think it's an insult to call it Modern Warfare 3. Honestly, it's like Modern Warfare 2.5 because nothing in that game is reminiscent of the OG MW3.
No, it's not.
Zero. Like, you're going to have MW3 but have all the OG MW2 maps? What the fuck is going on?
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I don't
We
get
don't
it.
have survival mode. We have zombies, which is, I mean, it's fine. All devs are working together, but there's no survival mode. There's no OG. There's nothing MW3 there. There was even a nod to No Russian, which was an MW2 thing.
Modern Warfare 3 was when I really got into Call of Duty and doing multiplayer. Because when I was doing the original Black Ops, I was just playing zombies and private matches.
For me, Modern Warfare 3 was when I stopped. Because I just wasn't a fan of it, and Battlefield 3 had come out, and I was really heavy into that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This Microsoft deal with Activision is everyone thinks it's going through. Everyone thinks it's going to be like this turning point for Call of Duty, but it is not.
No,
I don't think it is.
It's going to be freaking.
It might
Call
be
of
a
Duty.
Turning point for all the older Call of Duties, though.
Why?
Yeah, because they're going to be on Game Pass.
So they're going to be available.
They're going to improve this. I think they're going to improve the servers.
They have
to be
to.
Playable.
They'll have to.
Yeah.
Because right now the servers are like filled with hackers, both game hackers and computer hackers. Because you could go play a fucking old Call of Duty right now, and like you're putting your console or PC at risk of getting malware installed without you knowing.
Because Microsoft sees the money behind that, and I think I can truly see that happening, especially with that update that they did.
Oh
to some of the older ones,
yeah.
I can see that happening, and I honestly hope that's what happens. Truly,
yeah. I mean, even Blake talked about jumping into Modern Warfare. Was it 2 or 3 on multiplayer?
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of like get some nostalgia, and it was fun for a bit. He said it just it just doesn't
wears off.
It just kind of like wears off.
Just whatever you do, don't pre-order.
we tell this all the fucking time. I don't know a single person that pre-orders one of these games that doesn't regret it. Everyone
just
I
buy
know
when it comes out. Guess what? It's gonna be the same game.
Or wait 2 weeks after it comes out.
It's still going to be the same price, too.
It's going to be the same price. It's going to be the same game. And at that point, you can actually make a clear, concise decision if this game is worth fucking buying in the first place.
Yeah.
I typically buy these kinds of games well after the review cycle's done, because I want to see what it turns into. Because at launch, it always happens. At launch, it's fucking everyone's got, the whole.
Honeymoon eyes.
They got the honeymoon eyes on. Like they're just like, oh yeah, so the honeymoon phase of a game, and then that month goes by, and then everyone's like I said, the Call of Duty cycle of best game ever. To the last one was better. To this is the worst Call of Duty of all time. Rinse and fucking repeat every single year. But let's move on now. We're gonna talk about Twitch.
I feel like I just feel disgusting talking about Call of Duty this long.
I know. I want to go
dirty.
I need to take another shower after that one. So Twitch will let streamers ban users from watching their streams. This highly requested Twitch feature is rolling out next month.
This doesn't make sense.
So Twitch is rolling out an update next month that will finally allow streamers to block ban users from viewing their streams. Currently, Twitch allows you to ban users from chat section of the stream, but they can still view the streams.
That's how every platform is, though.
Yeah.
That's how YouTube is.
Twitch revealed earlier this week during a patch note stream that a new setting will be available for streamers in September that will boot people out of chat and live streams in real time. Banned users will automatically be blocked from viewing streams, a long requested feature that streamers have been waiting years for. At the time, it won't stop them from viewing VODs or clips, but that is something we also want to include in part of its functionality in a future update, said Twitch senior product manager Trevor Fisher during the patch note stream earlier this week. While this is a welcome feature, particularly for tackling harassment, Twitch still allows anyone to watch streams without an account. So if someone is banned, they can simply log out of the service or use a browser incognito window to continue watching a stream. Still, at least the ban feature will soon work how you expect it to.
I didn't even know that was part of this article, and I said that earlier.
I know you did. But yeah, I mean, and thankfully that was a short one. But yeah, like, so there is still no real way to keep people from watching you.
There never really will be.
No. But was at one point they were supposed to do it is if you got banned 3 times in a channel, they would like do a ghost ban on your IP. And it should have like to where you weren't going to be able to like chat in anybody's. I don't know what happened to that, which I know, VPNs get around that. But I mean, there was a little like false sense of security at one point, and that went wayside real quick.
I can tell you why that didn't happen. Because Twitch tried doing that whole thing of like dipping in everybody's fucking product placements and sponsorship stuff. And they were going to probably work on that with the money they thought they were going to get off of that. And then realized everybody was like, fuck you for even suggesting such a thing. And then they backtracked and they're like, well, this feature that we were going to use that money on can't happen now because we can't afford it. I'm just guessing. I don't know if that's.
I don't know. Not a lot of even games don't do IP bans. Like I think Valorant's one of the few games that just straight up does IP bans.
It's hard. It's expensive to do. It's also kind of hard to do because there are people that can like block like with VPNs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways that you can get around it with a VPN. So, and a lot of these people are using VPNs. So that when they do get an IP ban, they're just going to come back with a new IP.
Swap it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no true way to do it. I see kind of the thing is you still always got to continue to do things to your best way of trying to fix it, or at least show that you're
in your best faith
doing stuff that regardless of how effective it is, you still got to make that face, which sucks to the ones that are like, it doesn't truly mean anything. But to the stupid idiots that are like, woo, they're never going to be here again. They're also probably the same people that like when cheaters got banned on Warzone 1, they were like, woo, they're never coming back. You just create another account.
The whole kernel level driver thing was a fucking sham, and I knew it was, and I told everybody it was. And even people that I networked with when I was streaming that were all fucking hard-cocked about Call of Duty and this fucking anti-cheat that they were going to finally roll out. I'm like, this changes nothing. It won't change. You're still going to see hackers at a crazy amount, and this whole... And on top of that, the source code for that anti-cheat leaked. So cheat developers... were able to
go around it.
They were able to fucking come up with cheats that countered it. So it was like, guess what? Nothing changed.
This was me when they came out with, we're going to ban people for, what was it? The Cronus Zen.
How?
You're not. You can't.
There's no way to do it. Like
there's no detection.
Especially if you're a console player, there's no way to detect it. PC,
exactly.
PC is easier because you can obviously read hardware through, someone's PC with a proper anti-cheat software. However,
but even then, so a Cronus, because it's still technically the same when it's inside of a PC, when it's connected to a computer. The reason that they're able to even be sold in the first place, because the macros are read by the console and the PC or the program as a controller. An approved controller.
It's looked at like hardware, not software. That's what it. That's what it is. So like when it comes,
but it's approved.
So when it comes to an anti-cheat detection system, they look at the software in your PC, but the hardware is the thing that they can't read because unless you downloaded the software to get that hardware to work, if there's no software like with a Cronus, there's no way to know it's there. Because it just looks like a controller.
You don't need the software doesn't need to be running. When people get Cronuses, you have software on your computer, and that's how you get like the stuff for each game that you want to download. But then once you have it on the device,
the software is not on the PC though. The software I think is housed in the actual device.
No, there is a software on the PC. I've looked.
Is there?
A lot. Yes. So there's a software that they download for each. There's like I think they're macros, but they download and put on the device for a multitude of games. I think the first person shooters are like the main reason that people buy them. And then they disconnect. They just close the software because you don't need the software running.
No, you don't.
And it goes off of the
it reads it like hardware, so it doesn't look at it like it's anything nefarious. It just sees it like, oh, you're using a controller. Okay,
exactly.
Have fun. Yeah. So back to military news. Our friend over in North Korea.
Everybody's been a soldier today. I just want to point that out.
You're not wrong. In fact, every single article today has been Army related. Like I said this every episode. There's like one branch that's the theme of the day, and today it's the fucking Army. Sometimes it's a lot of them. Sometimes it's just one, but today it's just Army. Like that one time when it was just all Air Force, and a lot of it had to do with security breaches. It was like breaches.
So rare though.
I mean, they're reservists, so
that's true.
Is it rare? So North Korea gives reason on why U.S. soldier came to seek refuge.
I don't know how much we can believe North Korea either.
You can't. I'm willing to bet that this guy is probably in a work camp somewhere. So Seoul, North Korea, this is from Seoul. North Korea on Wednesday said that an American soldier who crossed into North Korea without permission last month did so because he had ill feelings towards the U.S. Army. On July,
that we know.
Of course, yeah, he was getting charged with a crime. I would imagine. On July 18th, Private Travis King crossed without permission. The DMZ that separates the two Korean nations, who are still officially at war since the conflict in the 1950s. I thought that actually just officially ended not long ago.
No, it's still. I think they had re-upped it because the armistice, whatever it is, was coming to an end. So that means that they could go back to war.
I don't know.
I think they just extended it.
I don't know. So
They're like, fuck you, but not enough to go to war.
North Korea would get balled up in a conflict anyway. So King admitted that he illegally intruded into North Korea, state-controlled media reported on Tuesday, citing a Pyongyang investigation into the events. According to the North Korean probe, the soldier confessed that he crossed into the country as he harbored ill feelings against inhuman maltreatment and racial discrimination within the U.S. Army, the official Korean news agency said. King was seeking refuge in North Korea or a third country, saying that he was disillusioned that the unequal American society.
He picked the right country to go to for it too. Man, they're treated so equally over there.
Yeah, the human rights there are like some of the top tier.
Like strong.
The report marks the first time Pyongyang confirmed King's whereabouts, having previously essentially only confirmed that it had received the U.S. request for information on the matter.
Has it confirmed? Have we seen him? Do we know he's alive? I don't care, but...
In the case of young U.S. soldier has bewildered observers for weeks. King had completed his deployment, if you can call it that, and should have returned home after spending time in South Korean detention center, the Pentagon said. He had been threatened with additional administrative measures in the U.S. The Pentagon did not give details about the background of his detention. However, South Korean news agency Konhap reported that the soldier had refused to pay fines for kicking and damaging a police car in Seoul. The man had been escorted to the airport but disappeared before boarding the plane. He later joined the commercial tour of the border where he broke away from the group and crossed the DMZ. The U.S. Department of Defense opened an investigation into the case. There was no information on the young man's motives, what he was doing in the hours between leaving the airport and crossing to North Korea, the Pentagon had previously said. So this is him at the tour.
Oh my goodness.
This is him like planning his extravagant
He's looking
escape.
over like, I can make it over there.
He's like, I think I can make it without getting shot by somebody, right?
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, according to North Korea, they let him in. Let's be fair. Like North Korea,
yeah,
telling the truth about something that happens all the time, right? They don't lie. North Korea doesn't lie about shit like this.
Never.
Especially when it comes to a U.S. soldier.
Fake news. Fake news.
I guarantee you they're like, he's a POW. He's not a fucking. They're not fucking.
It's one of the two. It's either like in absolute shit, if not dead, or this motherfucker being wined and dined.
He's being treated like
trying
king.
to get some like information.
Oh yeah, come over here. We'll we've got all kind. We'll give you a wife. We'll give you a fucking palace. You are now going to be.
We'll give you 7 wives, as many bitches as you want.
You're going to be a top tier citizen here in this country because their class system is like you can never leave it. If you're in a class, the way that the class system works in North Korea is like if there's like lower class and upper class. If you're lower class and you marry into upper class, that upper class person is now a lower class person. It's not the other way around. So like. If you are an upper class person, you can only marry an upper class to keep your standing. Yeah. There's no like getting out of that class system. There's only there's only going down in that system. So
did you see in that article about what the uncle said about that soldier? Was that the original article?
No, I think this is not the original article, but this is a family response to it, which I haven't seen. So uncle of the soldier who fled to North Korea says that he had a mental breakdown after a death in the family. I honestly don't believe this. I mean, I get it. He was probably distraught about the death in the family, but I don't think this is why he fucking did it. So the uncle,
that might be why he like kicked the police car and was like, anger, kicked the police car. And then he's like, fuck you, I'm not paying for that shit. And then everything else was not related.
So the uncle of the U.S. soldier who fled to North Korea says that he was troubled over the death of his cousin, Carl Gates, who is the brother of Travis King's mom, says that he was the father figure for King who didn't have a father. He claims King started breaking down as his son's rare genetic disorder deteriorated. It was basically... I was basically shitting on the family for not being here for me when my son was going through what he was going through. And so I really didn't have any encouraging words to give him because I've been upset with the family, Gates said in the reference to the death of his 7-year-old son. It affected Travis a lot because he couldn't be here. He was in the Army overseas. When my son was on life support and when my son passed away, Travis started being reckless and crazy when he knew my son was about to die. Gates said he blames himself for King's actions and he feels his lack of support during the tough ordeal contributed to his downward spiral. I said the wrong thing. Instead of giving him words of comfort, I gave him words of rebel against the family. Fuck everybody. There ain't nobody here for us anyway. July 19th, Racine, a U.S. soldier creating internal stir by crossing the North Korea, is identified. He's from Racine? He's from here? He literally, Racine is 15 minutes from my house. This dude's he's a local boy.
Not anymore.
Travis King, a 2020 graduate.
Now he belongs to North Korea.
A 2020 graduate of Park High School and now a private U.S. Army, has been detained by North Korea and is first known American held in the country in nearly 5 years because the last one fucking died. He came back as a vegetable. He was like he stole a poster. They put him in a fucking internment camp and for like several years. And when they finally gave him back to U.S. custody, the dude was a vegetable and he died.
That's like the only vegetable that can be found in North Korea. Yeah, because their crops aren't that great.
Nope. So a 23-year-old Cav Scout in the 1st Armored Division, that tells you everything you need to know, right, Perky? He was a fucking Cav Scout.
I mean, they have the shortest lifespan on the battlefield anyway.
No, the Cav Scouts think that they're FOs.
Oh, yeah. They only have like a 13.
Nothing about what's being discussed right now.
Imprisoned for 47 days in South Korea on an assault charge and faced discharge from the Army, according to U.S. officials spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity. The Racine soldier was released. See, no matter what you do, your occupation as a service member will always be the first thing they say. Mm-hmm. He was released from South Korean prison July 10th and was scheduled to return Monday to Fort Bliss, Texas. He was escorted as far as customs, but he left the airport before boarding the plane. He reported.
How did he get out of the airport? I still want to know.
I know that's the thing. He reported.
Usually, when you're being detained, you have an escort all the way through.
Oh yeah, no, we discussed this last time too.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
So it
was a whole thing. We went into it like who was sleeping on the job.
So his mom did an interview. Said his mom told ABC News that she was shocked when she heard the news of her son's crossing into North Korea. I can't see Travis doing anything like that. Well,
always, never. The parents are like, he was such a nice boy. We could never imagine anything. Talk to the neighbors. That boy always said hi to me.
Listen, ma'am. Whether or not you want to believe that your son would do such a thing,
he did it.
North Korea said he's there, so he's there. And and people saw him do it. So
take responsibility for your little shits, okay? They're not all fucking angels.
And
just saying.
The family is not answering questions at this time, understandably so, because what the fuck would they even say? The house the house also has an American flag hanging on the front porch. Why does that matter? Racine Unified School District spokeswoman Stacy Tapp said King attended Park High School, graduated in 2020. Tapp said the district would release no information about without King's consent, which is good. King had served in the Army for more than 2 years. I'm so proud of him, his mom told ABC News. I just want him to come home, come back to America. Ma'am, your son is not coming back. I will tell you this right now, because if it's one thing North Korea isn't known for, it's letting people leave. It's letting people fucking leave the country.
Unless you're
not talking anymore.
What was that basketball player's name?
Oh, you mean didn't they do like some kind of... Oh, yeah, but the thing is, like, they exchanged...
It wasn't Kobe, was it?
No, it wasn't. What? I would hope not. Kobe's been dead since 2019.
Well, I mean, he went on...
Well, it did say 5 years.
Ride, but...
That was 5 years ago.
No, I think it was Scottie Pippen, maybe.
Oh, it wasn't. Dude, it wasn't North Korea. It was Russia.
Dennis Rodman. I think it was Dennis Rodman.
He didn't fucking get captured in North Korea. He became.
No, I'm not saying he got captured. He just went to North Korea.
Yeah, he became a citizen in North Korea or some shit. Oh, that's Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal became a citizen. Oh, Russia. Are you sure it's North Korea and not Russia?
I'm pretty sure. NBA star who went
NBA star
to North Korea.
Citizen of
Rodman. It was Dennis Rodman.
Well, he did go to North Korea. Okay. So
he did stuff with Kim Jong-un. Like, I don't know, play basketball with him. What the fuck?
Yeah, that whole fucking thing makes me think of The Interview for some reason.
It does, 100%, yeah.
She sang Firework.
That's a good movie.
She sang Firework, Dave. Fucking.
I'm pretty sure that's what inspired that movie.
I love Katy Perry, Dave. Yeah, it's Steven Seagal.
You ever feel like a plastic bag?
The NBA star that was imprisoned was I can't remember her name, but she was a WNBA star who was arrested and imprisoned in Russia, and we traded the fucking most notorious arms dealer in the world for her.
I remember that. Yeah,
that was such a cool thing.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, we traded the fucking merchant of death for her. It was a good deal, kind of like the 5 Taliban commanders we traded for Bo Bergdahl. Anyway, so So we're going to talk about the soldier accused of killing his wife and told officers he didn't want them seeing his embarrassing sex stuff. As tragic as this is, I'm very curious of what the embarrassing sex stuff is.
I bet he likes getting pegged. What is it with all the... They always like getting pegged.
I mean, that's where our G-spot is in our buttholes, so...
It's fair.
Soldier accused of killing his wife told officers he didn't want them seeing his embarrassing sex stuff. Well, guess what? You are now a suspect in a murder. Everyone's going to see your embarrassing sex stuff. So this was your play. This was not the play.
I just want to take some pictures. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
So a 21-year-old Utah native and National Guard member stationed in Alaska was found dead days after her husband reported her missing, police told news outlets. Now he's being charged with murder, police said.
Man, he couldn't even wait till the winter? Like, let her get buried in some snow, my guy. You picked the wrong time of the year.
Listen, murderers don't tend to be very smart in their
That's
decisions.
not true. There's serial killers everywhere. They're usually women because they're better at getting blood out of, like, clothing. Because they've been doing it their whole lives. And they watch a lot of murder shows.
So
women love murder, man.
They do love murder. Soraya Hellbrand was first reported missing on August 7th in Anchorage, police said in the news release. She was reportedly last seen a day before and left her home in a black t-shirt, black jeans, and black shoes, and was carrying a purse, Anchorage police said. She was reported missing by her husband, Zarius Hillebrand, and the Anchorage Daily News reported, who told police that he and his wife had been out drinking with friends on August 5th for his birthday. He told police that they got back to their apartment around 2 a.m. Around 2:45 a.m., a neighbor heard gunshot, called police, and did not go outside to check it out. The outlet reported, citing charging documents. Zarius Hillebrand. Huh?
I wouldn't go outside either. What the fuck?
You don't fucking look? If I hear a gunshot, I'm all in the window.
No, that's white people shit. Like, you don't go towards the noise and be like, I wonder what's going on over here, and then you get shot.
I'm armed, so fuck it.
No, you fucking go away from the danger.
Zarius Hildebrand told police Soraya was hungover on Sunday, but still left to walk to work around 9 a.m., according to the Anchorage Daily News, citing a criminal complaint. A friend of Soraya's told police that she was not planning on working Sunday, according to the outlet. Her coworkers told police that they had gotten a text from Soraya around 10:45 a.m., which was 100% him sending this. On August 7th, telling him she was going to call off work, but charging documents said that her husband told police she didn't take her phone with her to work, according to KTUU.
You know what I pictured during this entire thing? This is because of how my brain works. The way that phones are now, most people will tend to have like a face scanner, an eye scanner, or a fingerprint. So he's just taking his dead wife's body and like holding her phone up like to her face, or like propping her eye open to get it to scan.
That is dark, bro.
Just holding her hand to unlock the phone.
Just fucking like holding her head up, like just like this.
That's where mine went.
Yeah. I don't trust the.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace to her. You know.
There's no way. Unless they were in one of those relationships where they had everyone's code. Nah, this dude was fucking like holding her head up, getting the phone to scan. There's no way. That's how I 100% manage this.
So her family believes she went missing on her way to work, according to the GoFundMe created on her behalf.
And he's making money off of this woman?
This was not him. This was her family.
Her family.
Oh, okay.
During the search for Soraya, Hildebrand let officers search their home. According to ABC, detectives noticed there was no sheet on the bed, which is the only covered by a mattress pad. There was a new set of sheets still in the package on the kitchen table.
Maybe she was a squirter. You never know.
That's when officers asked Hildebrand if they could lift the mattress pad to look under, he declined because there were embarrassing items underneath, according to an officer's statement in court documents. He finally told us it was stuff used for sex, the officer stated. We asked him if he would move those items while we looked away. And again, he said we couldn't look under the bed. Police returned the next day with a search warrant because that is like
the body's under the bed.
No,
I feel like that's where we're going with this.
Maybe. Police returned the next day with a search warrant. They lifted the mattress bed. They found blood stains. After days of searching, a body was found in a storm drain and was later identified as Soraya. On August 11th, police announced the disappearance is now being investigated as a homicide, and Zarius Hillebrand had been taken into custody according to the release. He has since been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and tampering with evidence. How do you get charged with first and second-degree murder of the same person?
I can't remember what.
One of them's like intent, and another
first
one's
degree is
like
premeditated,
planning.
and second degree is crime of passion, essentially.
Okay, yeah, so you can have both.
Yeah, you can.
So, Soraya had moved.
Literally just looked that up.
No, Soraya moved to Anchorage to be. Did I just look that up? I knew this because I was in criminal justice before I
Why'd
joined
you
the army.
ask the question then?
I didn't know that you could be charged with both because they're both so different from each other.
Well, you throw Jello at a wall and see what sticks.
Well, first, I mean, yeah, I guess stack as many charges as you can and figure out which one is going to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So Zarius Hillebrand is a cannon crew member of the 2nd Infantry Brigade Combat Team, so he's a 13 Bang Bang, stationed at Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, according to the outlet. Soraya was a member of the Army National Guard and joined the Alaska National Guard when she moved to join her husband.
See, National Guard, all these fucking reservists.
Yeah, while also taking college classes and working in a local restaurant, according to her family's GoFundMe and the Anchorage Daily News. She was assigned.
I bet he tried to hire a hitman too.
Probably. Oh, at hitman.com. Hirehitman.com. So, I'm pretty bummed to not see what the embarrassing sex stuff was.
Yeah.
That was the one, him refusing to.
That was his excuse.
That was his excuse.
So there
that
wasn't
was
actually any sex stuff.
No.
Damn it.
That was just his reasoning.
Damn it. I was hoping that he was going to be a murderer and embarrassed.
This is a debating headline because it said soldier
100%.
accused of killing his wife told officers he didn't want them seeing his embarrassing sex stuff,
That's
implying
why it was in quotation.
that this is the fucking motive.
Well, that was his motive.
No,
that was his cover up.
That was why he didn't want them searching.
Yeah.
This wasn't his motive.
Who's that embarrassed in 2023?
Someone who doesn't want them to find his wife's blood stains
murder,
under
yeah.
the bed.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what makes it not believable. Like, oh, you're embarrassed about your sex toys in 2023? Shut the fuck up. You killed her.
Yeah, so
but they weren't.
There were no
believe
embarrassing sex stuff. Nothing embarrassing sex anything was related to this.
That's my whole point.
That's a
Very
bummer.
disappointing.
Very disappointing. I thought that was going to be juicy because I was like, "Ooh, did we find a fucking strap on or something? I want to know." And no, you just didn't want them to see her bloodstains under the bed. That was
Why did he kill her? That's what I want to know.
They didn't say. There was no motive. He's being charged.
Maybe she found his embarrassing sex toys.
Dude, who the fuck knows? There's no. Here, let's go back to popular military because there might be.
Maybe he wanted her to like try some butt stuff, or she wanted to try some butt stuff. She stuck a fucking finger in his ass and just kept railing him. Some of us can relate.
You want to know that story?
No.
You want
No,
you want
not
that
even
story?
a little bit.
Maybe
it was set up so well.
Maybe this article will. Hang on, I'm looking at this. Let's see this article right here. Maybe it'll say the motive. I don't know. She was a medic. Blah, blah. Okay, let's see.
Wait, she was active too?
She was National
Guard.
Excuse me. Let's see, Zarius.
You made comments on when he was reading it about her being National Guard.
No, him being National Guard.
They both were.
Yeah.
I was making a comment on him being National Guard because it's always like all these stupid stories that we read. It always seems like they're fucking reservists.
Let's see. I'm trying to find where there was a motive.
Oh no, he was active.
Oh, he was active?
Yeah, because he's 2nd Infantry. Yeah, he was stationed up there, and she was the National Guard. Hold on, let me see.
I'm trying to find. There is nothing about a motive here. In fact, people were saying
there wouldn't be if he's still denying it, and this is just what, in July they just published this?
No, they published
August
this
15th.
Last week. Yeah, looking at everything, people were even saying that like it didn't make sense to them because they seemed like a happy couple. Granted, most of them do.
Yeah.
But
yeah, 2nd Infantry Brigade is active.
Oh, so there's more evidence. So on Thursday, detectives tracked Hildebrand's phone to a Lowe's store where they learned that he bought a large wheeled garbage can. The detective spotted a similar can back in the back of the landscaping truck north of the complex in the area of the trail, took custody of it. So after using a drone, spotted evidence leading to the discovery of Hildebrand's body. Yeah,
Sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And there was definitely like cleaning materials found within their apartments. So he was cleaning up the scene.
If there's still an active investigation, he hasn't been charged. There won't be a motive.
No,
unless he confesses.
There won't be. There is an article that I did see that I really wanted to look at because this is about Vanessa Guillen. Anybody who knows about this was the Fort Hood soldier that went missing. People stopped, like the officials stopped looking for her or something like that, and they found her body.
One of the soldiers.
Yeah. One of the many. So, a Texas woman who admitted she helped mutilate and conceal the body of Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. According to the
Who admits that?
Well, I mean, fucking
If there's enough evidence, might as well freaking
that, or if they gave her
try to get out of a plea deal.
Or if they're
probably a plea deal.
enough.
So, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Western Texas, Cecilia Aguilar received the maximum sentence for her role in the death of the 20-year-old Army specialist who disappeared from the base in April 2020. Her remains were found that June in a shallow grave near the base. Fort Hood near Killeen, Texas, was renamed Fort Cavazos in May.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Fort Hood got renamed too?
I think they're renaming all of the southern.
Because
Anyone
what is that gonna do? What is it gonna do? Is it gonna change anything? No.
And anybody who had any Confederate
ties
is getting renamed.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Aguilar, 25, was the girlfriend of Aaron Robinson, another soldier who was the main suspect in Guillen's murder. Robinson fatally shot himself as police moved in to arrest him in the early hours of July 1st in Houston.
He knew he was going down. I feel like those bases are gonna be like how the Twitter change from Twitter to X,
Twitter
is,
X.
where
It's
we
still-
know what the official name is, but most people are still gonna call it Twitter.
So
Whereas like Fort Bragg, for example, we know what the official name is, but most people are still gonna call it Fort Bragg, probably.
So during the sentence hearing, witnesses said that Aguilar and Robinson returned twice to the site where Guillen was buried, once to dismember her and once again to pour cement on the grave. Guillen told family and Army officials she had been sexually harassed at the base before her disappearance. An Army investigation posthumously confirmed her allegations, which led to 14 officials being removed from their positions. 14? Oh, yeah, because they weren't listening to her.
Yep.
Lack of trust and confidence, though.
Oh, absolutely. Fucking absolutely.
That's usually the reasoning. Like, oh, okay.
Glad that's changed since I've been in.
Here's her profile photo. She definitely looks like a stable fucking person. So
I saw Sergeant Major who they refer to as Sergeant Major Kettlebell in the Marine Corps.
Why do they call him that?
Because he holds the two world records for kettlebell weight, time, amount things. I don't know. It's like the most weight in the most amount of time for kettlebells. And he has like fitness stuff. He had fitness stuff on Instagram related to kettlebells. Yeah, I think I may have been deployed with him at one point. I don't remember.
And now he's going to jail. Yay!
Wait, he's going to jail? Excuse me? What?
I'm sure.
I only knew that he was getting released. I didn't know anything else.
What didn't his crimes involve minors?
They didn't say. It just said loss of trust and confidence in the article that I read.
Let's actually look this up now that we're actually talking about it. Let's see. What was he? A Marine gunnery sergeant?
So just search Sergeant Major Kettlebell relieved, and you'll probably find an article.
Sergeant Major Kettlebell.
Because he's a sergeant major.
This was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look. Marine Infantry School fires top enlisted leader known as Sergeant Major Kettlebell. He looks like a tool bag.
Can you send the article?
Oh, yeah. That would probably help if you guys saw the article, eh?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did you just send it to him?
No, I'm saying the
No,
group right now.
he's going to the group.
Okay, there you go.
All right, Sergeant Major Kettlebell. So, a Marine non-commissioned officer known as Sergeant Major Kettlebell was relieved from his position. And it's funny because you told me Sergeant Major Kettlebell was relieved of command. I'm like, who the fuck is that? So, was relieved of his position as top senior enlisted advisor for one of the service's 2 infantry schools. Sergeant Major Stephen Burkett was fired for loss in trust and confidence last month by Colonel Seth McCutcheon, the Marine Corps School. I don't know how to say his name. School of Infantry West commanding officer, according to the service spokesperson. Burkett was removed July 13. A spokesperson for Marine Corps Training and Education Command recently told military.com it was not immediately clear exactly why he was relieved. In April, Burkett won Camp Pendleton's Male Marine Athlete of the Year competition and set a mark Guinness Book of World Records for most weight lifted by a kettlebell using swing in 1 hour.
He's well known in the Marine Corps. I know that.
There was a TikTok I saw of someone talking about, like,
you probably saw the same one that I saw.
It was basically a guy that knew him that was saying that, like, we have been.
Did they refer to him as a dinosaur?
They referred to him as dinosaur. Yeah.
Yep, I saw the same one.
So, I know that he was I'm pretty sure his charges were like sexual harassment related. They have to be. I'm sure
it might be. It sounds like he was kind of a douche.
Oh, I'm sure he was
as well, as far as like his style of leadership, like very outdated.
That's why they called him Dinosaur.
Yeah, and just it's not effective. It's honestly it was never truly effective, but it had its place in a time of war, I would say.
How convenient that there is no additional information of why he was relieved.
Of course. Well, probably because
if it's still an active investigation.
Correct. You can't speculate on things.
But you know who can?
Nothing is official.
But you know who can? People that knew him. People that
yeah.
I'm curious to like what people what people that knew him had to say.
Yeah.
Because there was
he was very popular on Instagram. Because that was his Instagram handle too, which is not
they
not
deactivate
active.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they deactivate it? Was he like all over TikTok too?
I don't know about TikTok. I know he came up when Instagram was a thing because he got big before TikTok.
Did he?
But he got big on Instagram, yeah.
Where the fuck? Hang on, I'm looking at here. Blah blah blah.
You won't find it because they deactivated it.
I'm not looking for him. I'm looking.
You look for the TikTok that we saw?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the TikTok of them talking about it.
I'll probably be able to find it because I recently liked it.
It's I guess I was wrong about that assumption. I'm not gonna lie. I was wrong.
Yep, I found it.
You did?
Yeah, I found it.
The TikTok video?
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me, Daddy. Yeah. Yeah. Do push-ups right now. Do push-ups right now. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry the fuck up. There we go.
Marine Corps Sergeant Major gets fired, according to the Marine Corps Times. Funny though that the Marine Corps Times wasn't able to get any information on the exact reason why you got fired.
Which is what I said.
But here we are, TikTok. I don't know. Could have been this long string of inappropriate text message that you were going back and forth on social media with a potential applicant? The one thing that resonates with me is one of the conversations that you and I had in your previous office in your last command. You know what I'm talking about. Do you remember? Do you remember when I had to go in there and beg to have a meeting with the CEO because this Marine deserved a second opportunity and you did not want to give this Marine a second opportunity just because they were like 6 or 7 pounds overweight? Do you remember that? It took a company commander, a company first sergeant, and myself to convince the CEO to go against your recommendation of kicking this Marine out of the Marine Corps. A good Marine that had intentions to re-enlist and was a hard worker in their MOS. Or maybe you remember this guy. You know, your name was one of the very last names that he said before he unalived himself in May 19th of this year in a 22-area parking lot. You know, we have a name for Marines like this. They're called dinosaurs. And we always talk about them, but we never know who they are. Well, ding, 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 ding. We just found one. And guess what? This is the type of individuals that are holding back the Marine Corps from the
not just the Marine Corps, but the military as a whole, every branch.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I can't tell you. I remember when I was active, there was a fucking article about a Marine that was being faced with separation because they said he was too fat. However,
he was super fit. I know what you're talking about.
The dude was fucking. He looked like
a brick house.
The dude was a fucking fitness model. Like
he was just the one that made the news. There was a lot of Marines in that time that were getting processed out for that shit. But he was the one that news article was the one that got that shit to be changed.
Yeah, and good for it too, because it's just like you want to call that dude overweight and fat because I mean, like that dude is. It's like, are you kidding me? Of all people, like that dude looks like a fucking warrior, and you want to kick him out because weight standard? I don't get it. And
imagine half the fat ass people that were telling him he was out of standards.
Oh my God. Yes. I had
But they were within their weight.
I had when I was active duty, like all of us in our unit, and I mean, you were with an airborne unit. I'm sure you can attest to this. All the infantry guys are jacked out of their fucking faces, and most of them are on steroids.
Like, I'm a fluffy person, so I'm not out here giving fucking fitness advice to people.
And I say that most of them are on steroids because your boy was one of the most of them that was on steroids. But we were like, it was like we were facing down the barrel of fucking war with Russia at the time.
Yeah.
So all of us, we were all, like, a lot of us had fucked up backs, and because airborne life is hell on the body.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like these fucking LTs that were maybe 120 pounds soaking wet, telling me that they are the standard of fitness in the military. And I'm like, yeah, sir, why do you say that? And he's just like, I can't carry you off the battlefield. I'm like, that sounds like your fucking problem. Like, do you honestly think that the enemy's going to look at you or me and determine that you are the one that they should probably not fucking fight with?
That's like, what you say, sir. You can't carry me, but I wouldn't carry you.
Like it's one of those things where it's like, I'm like, just because the standard says that I have to look like you doesn't mean that that's actually a viable option. I'm like, you have no calves. You have like no muscle on your body. You're skinny as a fucking rail. And then here's me. I'm walking around with a fucking like 60-pound rucksack and like just I was jacked when I was active duty. I miss
my
days.
body when I was active duty because I had the really strong upper body from all the push-ups, and I had the softball calves, and I could freaking like bust a watermelon with my thighs, but I had a skinny little waist, and I miss that. I really do.
My injuries, like if I kind of have tried to I've kept up with it. It's more of like I've been maintaining it to like, so I don't like, if I don't maintain it, it all starts to hurt really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why I did. And like, that's why I'm constantly in PT and all that other stuff. But like the point still stands of like, when you're in, they look at you and they see what it is on the scale, but they don't look at the individual. And the taping
the taping standards were horrible.
Oh yeah. There were guys that I saw that I was just like, he's
a big neck.
These dudes are, I can't even really explain like what it was. I'm like, there is absolutely no fucking way that you would go into a combat zone and make it, because like you wouldn't be able to keep up. But you pass tape because you got this 19 to 20 inch neck that saves you from your taping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not scientific regardless, because people like me that are tall can be fluffy, but still within waist standards.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, you're good to go. Continue on.
And the shorter you are, the harder it is.
That piece of shit over here, but just because I'm tall, I get a pass.
And they were telling me that like my weight for my height, I needed to be 170 pounds. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, 180 pounds. And I'm like, my natural walk around body weight has never in my whole life been 180 pounds. I walk around at average without working out and just maintaining, a healthy lifestyle. My walk around weight is 200 pounds plus. And there's no fucking way. Like, I'm just, my frame is not that of, like, when I got out of basic training, I was 169 pounds out of basic. And I straight up told them,
nice.
When you fit me for a dress uniform, size that bitch up, because there ain't no way I'm staying at this weight, because it just doesn't happen. Even even if I did stick with the training routine that I had in basic, my body's going to go right back to where it was almost before I got out, because this was not my natural weight. And the military doesn't look at it like that. They look at it like, well, this is what the standard is for your height. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just, my build is not of that. My build is of a 200-pound person. Like I would never, even if I would have to basically starve myself and deprive and work my body to the fucking ground to get myself back to that weight ever again. Even when I was out, I had to do that. When I was in,
one of the better ways they went towards fixing that problem, I would say, it's not a fix, but it's a step in the right direction, is even if you failed your BMI, but you passed your fitness test, then you were still good.
Yes. Well, no. In the Army, it's not like that. In the Army,
It's not like that.
You could pass you can fucking get a 300, which is the max score on your PT test. But if you fail the tape, you are a
You
shitbag.
get freaking, you get counseled.
You can
Yeah,
you can go on like what I call the Fat Enlisted People program for the Navy. It's really fitness enhancement program, but we call it Fat Enlisted People. I'm pretty sure that we would still be on that program, but we still have to pass. But if we pass, then we pass. We're still gonna be on that program now.
When I got out of active duty and went into the National Guard, I didn't pass tape by like a small margin, and they put me in that remedial PT shit, and they put me in like in that same program that the Army has that you were talking about, and which required me to come in 2 hours early for drill every morning to do remedial PT. And I will never forget this. The remedial PT NCO looked at me and he said, "You do not need to be here." And I was like, "I know I don't. I don't know why I am here." Because like the people that were there were people that did nothing. Like they couldn't even do push-ups. And here I am. I'm like fucking smoking them all. And like I just don't look like how they look. And it's just like, why the fuck are you here? And I'm like, because I failed tape. Only because I'm like, all I gotta do is thicken my neck up a little bit.
That's apparently one of the biggest issues for reservists is the fitness stuff.
It is.
Well, yeah, because you're not actively doing it.
Right.
You know, they have regular jobs and stuff, and it's just not a. When I was in, I'm 5'5". They wanted me to be 137 pounds, and I'm like, the only time I've ever that weight was after Afghanistan, and I had lost like probably about 60 pounds while I was in country because I was sweating and working and wasn't eating crap. Like I wasn't eating very well. Because, you know, defects weren't exactly super established over there. But, only time in 4 years that I ever freaking, like, did not get taped. It's absolutely ridiculous.
This is a great transition to the Facebook articles.
It really is.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do about 20 of the reasons why we're not re-enlisting or why you shouldn't re-enlist. And then we could wrap it up from there. So let's get to it, kids.
The sad part is I still have to do at least one more re-enlistment.
Yeah, because you are a poor bastard. So number 62, motor pool inventories every week with different standards as to the layout every week, which drove me absolutely insane because it was it was like every week we did the same thing, but they wanted a different thing each time. And I'm like, for fucking what?
Yeah.
It drove me insane.
It's all about who's in charge. It's all about who's in charge. Who's in charge that week?
Number 63. Who really wants to have any control over their life anyway? Which is fucking true.
Nobody. I don't want to control my life. Fuck that.
I hated it because it was just like to make any kind of decision. It was like they were like, "Well, you need an NCO." And I'm like, I'm 25 years old. I am the adult. I don't need a fucking adult to tell me, another grown ass man to tell me what I can and can't do, unless I'm doing something really stupid, which makes sense. But when it came to like, hey, I'm buying a vehicle, and I know
counseling, financial counseling,
yeah, big no in there, and I'm just like, they're like, what vehicle are you buying? I'm like, well, I'm buying a motorcycle because I have a motorcycle license, and the guy in the NCO that was telling me that I couldn't. I had a motorcycle license longer than this fucker had a driver's license. And I
don't know if the Army has this. Did you know the Marines have to go to like a class before they get married?
Yeah, I heard about this.
Because they make such terrible decisions when they get married.
That's most lower enlisted. But this guy was just like saying, who told you could do that? I'm like, I didn't know anybody told me, like, I needed anybody to tell me I can do that. Like, well, you need to have prior permission to even do this. And I'm like, why? Like, do you even have a motorcycle license? I'm like, yeah. Like, when did you get it? I'm like, 2008. They're like, how old are you? As soon as I said that, like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 25. I've had a motorcycle license since 2008. And they're like, oh, I was old enough to drive around then. I'm like, see, you had a learner's permit. I had a whole ass motorcycle license and my first bike by that point. So I'm like, I'm not going into this as a terrible financial decision. I'm going into this knowing, because I've had prior life experience before the Army. You know, I know how to talk to an automobile dealership. I know
You
how
still
not
had to
to
do the
get.
class, didn't you?
No,
Oh, I'm
no,
surprised.
I didn't have to have anybody fucking get, like, I didn't need permission at all. They were going to make me until they actually made me go to First Sergeant and prove that I had a motorcycle license. And like,
We saw it. We don't believe it though.
and they said, well,
Yeah.
well, luckily First Sergeant was a rider himself. And he said, where did you get your, like, what class did you take to get your license? And I told him. I said, I went through the Harley Davidson Rider's Edge program in 2008. And he was just like, okay. And, I said, and they're like, what bike did you use? I'm like, a Buell Blast. And he's like, okay, well, you're good. So I'm like, see, then he was asking me about my first bike. He's like, when did you buy your first bike? I said, 08. It was a brand new bike.
What's with the third degree? Jesus.
Well, he wanted to make sure that I knew what I was fucking doing and not just being like, you know what? I could use a motorcycle, which, you know, it's whatever. But let's see. Was that number 63? So number
64 is perfect.
Is it? Hang on. I don't even see 64.
So it's the U.S. Army is the only organization where you can be 24 years old while your body feels like it's 50. Yet you're treated like you're 8.
Yeah, that was another
Perfect.
thing. That was another thing that goes right into the being a grown ass man being treated like I'm not a grown ass man. Like I got to ask mom permission if I could do. It's just, it was stupid. I'm like, yeah, and even on my way out, I was 28 years old on my way out, and they were just like, and it was just one of those things. That was the biggest reason why I was getting out, was that I'm tired of being treated like a child as a fucking going into a middle-aged man and being told what I can and can't do by people who are fucking younger than me.
Oh, that's the worst. I just got 2 docs. My doc is 2 years younger than me, which isn't that bad. And then we just got a new admin officer who is 28. And I just question my life decisions every day now.
Or my fucking favorite, the butter bar lieutenant who just got out of college, and he's 22.
Oh, those are the best.
He's 22 years old.
Amazing.
I'm almost 30. He's 22 years old, and he's like telling me what I can and can't do because he's an officer. And I'm like, listen, sir, like,
With all due respect, fuck off.
Oh, that's always nurses at the clinics and hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're the worst.
it's like, dude, you were still in fucking elementary school when I was going to bars and banging people. Like, fuck you. Like, you who are you to tell me what I can and can't do? Like, I was drinking before you, while you were fucking watching Cocomelon. Anyway,
I was drinking beer while you were drinking your mom's tits.
so number 60.
Yeah, there's just an 8-year difference. That's all.
Yeah. So number 65, not being able to put your hands in your pockets, then called on it by a superior who engages in it frequently.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yep.
Yeah, like, get your hands out of your pockets. Meanwhile, he's like in the field with his hands in his fucking pockets.
What the fuck do I have pockets for?
Your personal firearms can remain in your possession. Yeah, that too. Like, so if like owning a firearm, it's got to go to the fucking arms room.
If you have it, if you live on
If
base.
you live on base.
If you live on base. I mean, it makes sense. They don't want to have another fucking Fort Hood. What is that?
I would. That's funny. I would never trust them
No,
Oh.
not at all.
with my shit.
With how often shit gets lost from the arms room? Hell no.
Mm.
Looking at you, 3-6.
Yeah, losing firearms. 3-6 Marines. They've had 2 fucking articles written about them about losing weapons.
Oh God.
Like, I'm not talking like, you know, they lost like 3 of the new handguns that were issued, and before that they lost fucking M4s and like 249 or some shit like that. Number 67, the humor and shit talking rises above the 8th grade level. Does it?
Yeah.
Does it really though?
I think that just stays forever though.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're talking about.
That's not a reason to get out though. Like,
this is a good
I'm
one.
confused by that one.
Number 68, bosses all idiots. Start your own business and show them they suck.
Yep.
Whereas in the
Better to be a
military,
t-shirt company or a coffee business.
whereas in the whereas in the military and the military world, it's like your bosses are fucking idiots. You're at the mercy of that until they're either gone or you leave.
Yeah, can't even quit. No. That's honestly one of the worst parts too. Is like nobody's going anywhere. You literally just have to fucking deal with each other.
You deal with it. Yep.
Number 69. I honestly don't think it's completely true. No one gives a shit if you're 1 minute late in the real world. It's
Far less.
It's far less, but they do give a shit still.
Depends on the field that you're in too.
Yeah, the military expects you to be like 15 minutes early to 15 minutes early when in the real world, you can be like right on time and you're on time, whereas the military would classify you're on time, you're late.
And if you're 15
wordy.
minutes early, you're still late.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure Steph has been late to work or to clock in to work, I guess. She's on salary, it doesn't matter. Every fucking day. And her traffic is intense for her because she's got to stumble over 2 cats across the hall and log in the computer. It's rough.
Yep.
Every morning. Never on time.
Number 70.
But it doesn't matter. Like, they don't even care.
No, they don't give a shit.
And I'm like, I don't understand. I'm losing my mind. Like, babe, you're always late. And she's like, what are you talking? It doesn't matter. And just the inner anxiety of me is like, I hate this. Yeah. It's not even my job, and I don't like it.
I got written up for being too early at work.
Mandatory Fun Day did a skit about that. It's like, stop being so weird and early.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you outside this door 15 minutes early.
Like, if you're going to be here, work. And I'm like, but I can't. Number 70, people placing their entire self-worth and validation on Velcro patches, shiny badges, and ribbons on a uniform. Yeah. And other people also looking at that validation as they are better than you because of those same things.
Yeah, because in Afghanistan, we had, if you were an E7 or whatever, your campaign reward was based off of your rank. So like me being enlisted, I got like a freaking AAM or something bullshit. Yeah. When fucking E7s that didn't go shit got fucking bronze stars. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's the same with Arcoms. They'll give Arcoms to people that are like of a certain rank, but if you did the same exact thing and you were of a certain rank, you got an Army Accommodation medal.
Yeah.
So many people make it their fucking identity too. Like, I understand pride. Like, I'm a prideful person. I mean, most of my gaming handles and social media handles are military related, and it's FMF specifically because it's a major thing to it. It's a pride thing, but that's not my fucking identity. You know what I mean?
Tell that to the fucking butter bars that get the rewards for everything. Anyway, number 71, being too junior to know anything. If your answer does not agree with the worldview of someone senior. Yeah, especially if you are absolutely correct in what you are saying. And there's very, very, very few times, like I told you with that time when I shit on that captain, where it was like knowledge trumped rank in that whole aspect right there. But for the most part, it's the other way around, because you are junior enlisted, despite your logic being sound and your decision being right, the person over you that doesn't agree with it is the one they go with.
I've had that most of my career because I was an E4 for 9 years.
Yeah.
Very experienced in a lot of areas, just a natural time in. But people that pick up faster or just other ranked people in general were like, he's just an E4.
The pay rate system in the Navy is a little bit fucky too. Like for us in the Army, we have like the board. Pretty much like all the way up to E4, it's given to you. And then anything after that, you go to a board. Well, in the Navy, every rank has to be given to you based on what, like availability or some shit like that?
Well, yeah, but you also take a test.
Yeah, to take a test based off of your, My son's in the Navy, and he kind of got E5 for re-enlisting because he's a nuke.
Yeah,
he doesn't count.
My cousin was a nuke. He was on USS Roosevelt during that whole bullshit, in 2020.
He got E4 out of school.
Guam?
He's gonna get E6 fucking first time up if he stays in. He's gonna get a massive bonus. He does stupid things and overthinks everything probably. Because we have a whole term for that called nuking it.
But yeah, what you were talking
Yep.
about with the whole thing with Guam, like with the captain got relieved and shit like
Mhm.
that. My cousin was on the ship during that.
I
So
just
is
want to
mine.
point out that you said that your son is in the Navy.
Mhm.
Man, we really did think you were younger.
Hey,
Yeah, he's been in the Navy since 2020.
I have a
So-
buddy. I have a buddy
Wow.
of mine who, when I was
That's a
in,
terrible time to join.
I have a buddy of mine who was in with me when I was active duty. When I was about, I don't know, 25, 26. He was about 22, 23. He had a 16-year-old kid. Him and or
Mathing's not math.
somewhere it was somewhere close to, or he had a 13 or 14-year-old kid. So him and his wife had a kid when they were 12.
I was about to say, I'm like, was he fucking when he was like 10 years old?
Yes. Yes, he was. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, my son
Is he from this country?
he was in his early to mid 20s and had a son that was a teenager. And I was like, what? He's like, you heard? Yeah, it's like 100%. It's like me and my wife, like we were 12 when she got pregnant. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'll say that's impressive that he's with the same person, first of all.
Yeah, and they had another, and later on down the road, they had another kid. He joined the army and stuff. And now, oddly enough, think of it like this. Imagine being 29 or 30 years old and your son joins the army.
That's an anomaly right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his son joined the army too. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway.
I mean, when you're basically the same age as your dad, like,
Yeah.
following his footsteps, I guess.
I like this one. You can unbutton your suit jacket and get more comfortable. And no one gives a fuck.
I don't know. Can't relate.
Number 73. If you want to travel and go somewhere, you don't need to submit a TRIPS form, DA31 form, LES form, MedPros form, flight itinerary,
God.
and the blood of a unicorn 2 months in advance if you want to be able to purchase a reasonably priced plane ticket.
Bro, this is so fucking real, though.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Like, I just want to get a cheap ticket. Can you just approve my shit?
It's like, I just
Yep.
want, I will say this. In Europe, it was much easier than this to travel because the only thing they really needed was a trip form and LES to make sure that you had the fucking that you had the leave days for it. And if it, and the other thing is, most of the time you didn't need this because if it was a 4-day weekend, you just needed a pass. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Because like all the countries were in Europe were right there. So it was not uncommon for people to travel to another country. And you weren't using leave days for this. Because this was a 4-day weekend. You could use the 4-day weekend and go to fucking Ireland and not need to like require any leave days.
That was nice. I missed that about overseas.
This
This was amplified to a fucking 1,000 during COVID, dude.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Oh my god.
They
You had to sacrifice your fucking firstborn along with that unicorn.
number 74. No one is checking your gig line in a suit and tie.
Can't relate.
Number 75. I have the ability to actually grow and groom a beard. Yeah. I didn't groom at all when I fucking was growing my first beard. It was the first time I ever grew a beard because I couldn't before the army. And for some reason, when I got out of the army, I was absolutely able to. And I just didn't even want to trim it. I didn't want to groom it. One of my buddies
You
said,
didn't want to touch it.
my buddy told me, he's like, bro, you look like an Afghan elder. You got to fucking clean that up, man. Like, you look fucking terrible. I was like, okay.
You look like you're about to Akbar me right now.
So number 76, seniors who hate their off-duty lives because they hate their families and take it out on soldiers by not letting them off work. Yep. Like, I hate my wife and my kids, therefore you don't get to have a life. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know
If
what
you
I don't
wanted
know.
to.
Wasn't it
Good.
wasn't it Blake that was telling us about that? He had a fucking.
I think so.
It was Blake was saying that he had a fucking guy that was like that.
I think he admitted it, though.
Oh yeah, the guy admitted it that he fucking hated his life outside of it.
Or like he apologized for it afterwards.
Jesus.
It was either your narrator or it was Blake. One of them said that he looked. I think it was your narrator. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
He looked like the dude's son.
I don't remember that.
It was like he looked like the guy's son, and then like he just was frustrated with him.
I
let's
do
see.
remember that.
I always heard that if the military wanted you to have a family, they would have issued you one.
That's true
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, I've heard that one too. Number 78, 24-hour duty followed by a full day of work. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, though, a lot of these 24-hour duties, though, they get to fucking sleep.
No.
Depending on where they are.
Yes.
And what it is.
For us,
Not
24
not
for
staff
us,
duty.
staff duty for us, especially at the brigade
CQ.
level, was 30 hours, not 24. You had to be there several hours prior, and you had to stay several hours after for some fucking reason. I don't know why.
And
'Cause
you
I know
could
there's-
not go to sleep.
And you
Because
couldn't sleep
when
all
I
the
was
time.
in Bahrain, we had two people on duty. And we would alternate sleep times. If we needed, if one of, like, if something came up, we had to wake the other one up. It was authorized too. But one person always had to be awake. So, like, it was less sleep than you would usually get. But, like, I would sleep from like 12 to fucking 4 or some shit. And he would sleep from like 4 to 8.
Not in
Or
my
4 to
army,
7,
guy.
whatever.
Not in my army.
Okay.
Nope.
Number 7.
Not everywhere is like that. But, like, some places, you get to sleep.
Number 79, I'll be able to start speaking normal English around friends and family again. And I will tell you this, for
No,
the
you
person that wrote this article, you will never be speaking normal English ever again.
Nope.
That shit
Brock barely
stays with-
speaks English in the first place.
And fuck you. But you will always be saying shit that you said when you were in, even after you're out. And it's become so ingrained in you that it doesn't go away. You can lose the fucking military time. That's one that will go away. But the rest of the lingo, that stays with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
And number 80, finally, your life will no longer suck or be decent on the whims of your superiors. So pretty much, well, no, it's saying that, like, your superiors don't determine that to a degree.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So your life will no longer suck or be decent based off of the whims of your superiors. So it's like,
Okay,
if I'm having
I get it.
a bad day,
Gotcha.
we're all having a fucking bad day. Or if I'm having a good day, everyone's having a good day. Where it's just like, there are other outside factors that make the day suck or not suck, but for the most part, it's not determined on someone else. For the most part.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And I say
Yeah,
for the
that makes
most
sense.
part because working in the civilian world, that still happens. But
Significantly.
But for the most part, no. Like, your life will not either be good or bad based on the whims of a fucking superior person having a bad day. Like, and it'd be something that wouldn't even be in your wheelhouse of something happening. It would just happen.
Let's do 81 just because it ties in with that.
And, okay, so staying late at work means they pay you more in overtime. That is a fucking huge one. Absolutely huge one. Because that was the one thing that I looked forward to with being a civilian was just like, you mean to tell me that I'm going to be here for an extra 4 hours and I'm going to get paid even more for that? Like, you mean
If you're hourly.
Like, if you're hourly, you mean time and a half? You mean, like, not only am I going to be paid the rate that I'm getting paid, but you're going to double it for every hour that I'm going to be here? Sign me the fuck up.
The only downside is more taxes.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
But you're still, you're still being valued for your time.
I'm salary. So, no.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Figure the fuck out. But you're still being paid even when you're not working, though. So,
Facts.
pick your poison.
All right. Well, I guess that's a good time to wrap it up. We've been going at it for 3 hours and 15 minutes almost.
It was a great time. I feel like this won't change your decision to watch the podcast, but it was fun having you on.
I will make a solid
Don't lie.
effort
Don't lie to my face.
to watch this one.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
It's always the ones that they're on.
yeah,
that
it's
they
always the
wanna
one that
watch.
are on. Yeah.
It's either the ones they're on or one with someone they referred. Beats.
Yeah. Fucking.
I watched that in your narrator one. I loved it. I'm like, have you watched any other ones? No. I'm like, oh, so the
No.
one that you referred the person to me is the one that you watched? She said, fuck all the other ones, huh? Okay. I see how it is.
I will
man.
make a solid effort to watch beyond the one.
I know what that means.
And if you don't, at least just share it with people. If you're not, and that's the thing. If you're not going to watch it,
I did. I shared a narrator one. That's the only one that I've seen come across.
there's been a
Like,
few
that's-
since then.
I don't see them on my feed.
Did we not post the one with fucking Blake? on
No, we
Twitter?
posted it because I listened to it on
Do
Spotify.
you realize how many content creators I have on my feed?
No,
Are
that's
you talking
a
about
very
on
valid point.
Spotify or YouTube?
I
YouTube.
look on the Twitter feed and stuff. I don't have.
Over the weekend. I'm gonna have to backlog all.
Oh,
of
on Twitter, I don't know.
That's the only time I can really see them is that they.
So I don't think we did on that one actually. Come to think of it.
Yeah, I don't think we did either. Well, anyway, Perky, thanks for hanging out with us today. It was good to
Thank you
finally
for
have
having
you
me.
on. I know I tend to ask you it like the day prior, and you're just like, I had plans. I can't. I'm like, well, shit. I should probably ask fucking well in advance before actually.
We planned this one 2 weeks ago, so this is pretty good.
Yeah, we did. We planned this one 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So.
And I still had a long day.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. Good to have everyone back on the smoke pit. We will have a new name on the next episode. So
And a new logo.
So keep an eye out for that one. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your week.
And like the video.
Like the video. Subscribe to the video. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract to the population. Blah, 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 blah. Don't hit your wife. Don't hit your kids. Don't hit your dog.
Change your socks and drink your water.
We'll see you on the next episode. Later.
Bye.